Aha! I had the actual mic muted. And I had it muted on. Let's turn that off. Okay, there we go. Alright, so. I've been trying to stream all weekend. Had shit come up Friday, had shit come up Saturday. And then, of course, yesterday was Super Bowl, so there wasn't really much point in streaming yesterday. People weren't coming to the stream over the Super Bowl, more than likely. So, just gonna spend the night just doing some stuff. We got our affiliate back, though. And got sub badges set up and all that kind of shit. Still working on some emote ideas, but not really worried about that right now. Want to get some shiny hunting in. So I do want to find who has my leftovers. Do I have them on with leftovers? Actually, I think I took leftovers off. I think they're in. Are they not in here? Maybe I do have a Pokemon that has holding leftovers. Is it Arcanine? No, he's got Citrus. Who has my... Umbreon has my leftovers. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I was using it for raids. I don't know that I need to give Amoonguss the leftovers. I don't really think I do. I'm going to do it anyways, just because whatever. So, first off, we're going to go hunting Screamtail, because I have a specific build I want to use it for. Yes, I know Wolf used it for Parish Song and won Orlando, and that was great. I still haven't finished watching his breakdown of that. I've got it pulled up on my phone. I'll finish it tomorrow probably. But I'm actually going to be doing something a bit different. So I'll get to what I'll be doing for it later. I pretty much got 3 Pokemon to deal with Screamtail. Now we're not doing one of those. We're not doing those stupid sandwiches, the bullshit ones. That's Encounter Power Dragon, though. Where's the Encounter Power Fairy one? Thought I marked it. Maybe I didn't. It was right around here, wasn't it? Ah, come on. Don't tell me I lost it. There was one that was... It's Encounter Power Fairy. Where the hell did it go? No, it wasn't this one. Because it was level 2. I literally had the numbers memorized. And then forgot them. Nope, that's catching. You know, all the things that they did right with this game are just completely undone by all the things they did wrong. Like, you couldn't just make a way to, like, filter or search through your recipes. Oh, come on. Where's the fucking fairy one? There's actually... I tried to look into it, and you're actually better off searching fairy than you are psychic. There's actually more psychic Pokemon in Area 0 than there are fairies. So, it's easier to get Screamtail by doing fairy. Aha, this was it. Maybe? I don't know. It's Encounter Power Fairy 2, though, so whatever. Just gonna use a shit ton of ingredients, but we'll do some raids, we'll get some whatever shit, and we'll... I mean, at least you know this sandwich is gonna be fucking flavored as shit, though. Watercress. This looks like I'm putting leaves on my fucking sandwich here. We got yellow bell peppers. I'm not a big pepper fan. I definitely don't like bell peppers. Unless by, like, the grace of God. I still don't know why these tomatoes are so fucking thick. It's like putting a goddamn hamburger patty on top of this shit. Yeah, unless the yellow and, like, orange bell peppers taste better than the green ones. I can't stand the green ones. It's possible, I suppose. It's not likely, but... This is just like a giant vegetarian sandwich. There's nothing really to offer you here. Look how shiny Dinkelberg looks. I love the way Gengar eats. Oh, it is a veggie sandwich. Well. Yeah, we don't care about the rest of that, so... I was actually just going to run around the top of, like, Area 1. And then I realized, thinking about it, because Area 1, the only other fairy is the little flower fuck. But... I don't think... Was it 3 or 4 I need to go to? Can't remember if it's 3 or 4. I think down in the cave in Area 0, it's just Screamtail. So, okay, so it was 4, but that's okay. See, there's already, like, nothing but Screamtails out here just waiting on us. Okay, now some Brute Bonnets are popping in, which is cool. The thing is with doing these level 2 sandwiches is there are gonna spawn in some other shit, which is fine. It's really not, but we also know that... Okay, I don't know why I thought that one looked different. Okay, I'm not even touching you, come on. We also know for a fact that those fucking sparkling sandwiches are useless. I've even had some of you guys have commented on, like, having issues of your own finding... Oh, there's Fluttermane down here. That's the other favorite. Well, shit, I'd rather find a shiny Fluttermane than a shiny, fucking flower shit. Yeah, look at all these jiggly fucks. I'm trying to come up with a clever nickname for a Screamtail that's kind of like Jigglypuff, but not Jiggly. Look at all of them. Jesus Christ. Like, because we got Jigglypuff and we got Wigglytuff. We have Jigglytuff. We just have Jiggles. Jigglyruff. I don't know. There's got to be something clever I can come up with. Plus, this way, it's like, well, as long as we get one, I'm not really concerned about, you know, this sandwich being, like, wasting the ingredients and shit. I don't lose out on an HM that I may or may not give a shit about because, again, those sandwiches don't fucking work anyways. Garganackle. That's not a fairy. I actually don't think I'd mind finding a shiny Garganackle. I thought about using one on one of my teams. And actually, while I like Wigglytuff and everything, and Jigglypuff, so that's why I like Screamtail. And it kind of is what gave me... I don't know if that one's shiny or not. It's not. Okay. Is what kind of gave me the idea for using Screamtail to begin with, was trying to find a slot, find a mon to fit the slot on a team that I was discussing with Drewby. And, like, it occurred to me, I was like, I wonder if this would work. Can we use Screamtail, and instead of I mean, you could still, I guess, put Perish Song on it as just like an alternative. Just be like, you know what, fuck it. But to also give you more of a offensive option. So like, look at all these fucks. So I definitely think that it's worth trying out. And either way, I mean, it's a shiny that even if I decide it doesn't work, then I've still got it, so it's whatever. I'm working on swapping up mons from our season 1 team. I think most of our season 1 team might get dropped. As unfortunate as that is, just because, I mean, the strategies that I had, they work, but at the same time, they didn't work for what they weren't intended to counter. So, in a way, like, for sure, we're sticking with Scizor, especially for our Sand team. And I really want to stick with Gengar. I just don't know, because he's so versatile. But I don't know what I want him to do. And I think that's part of what our issue was. I mean, I had him as he went perfect with Raichu as a counter for Dondozo Tatsugiri. But it left him to where his only offensive pressure he could apply was Shadow Ball, which is great, but he's got such utility, like so many fucking options, that I feel like there's a better way to utilize his massive move pool than for him to just, you know, run in and just beat stuff up. Like, he's Gengar. He's a trickster. He does things. He's not just, you know, he's not a brute. Like, for smacking shit up, I've got Scizor. I've got Roaring Moon for that. And I know this random ass sandwich should work fine, because we did use it to successfully hunt 2 of the Great Tusk. So it's just that if a shiny Fluttermane pops up, it's fucking green. We won't miss it. What the hell is happening to that Gabite? The Jiggly, on the other hand, I mean, the eyes are red, but I'm more looking for the purple head tail, which actually seems harder to tell, especially from, like, a faraway distance. I actually think that I have another option for a fucking teammate too, and I already have that one shiny, so I thought that Jiggly was in the ground. Well, I don't quite have it. I have to evolve it, but yeah. I'm debating if I should evolve my Gabite, the shiny one we caught when we were hunting Roaring Moon. Because, I mean, it's a shiny, it's whatever, but, like, Garchomp's shiny just sucks. Like, Gabite is bright. Like, Gibble is like a blue, more of a blue color. Gabite is, like, that's regular Gabite. Like, shiny Gabite's super blue. Looks great. But then the shiny Garchomp just looks like trash. Just like a gray trash bag. But I'm told, one of you guys told me that shiny Garchomp looks better in this game. Looks more like a black color. So I might. The only reason not to evolve it is if I do end up deciding to do a living shiny dex, which I never really thought to do until this game, just because I've had such like ridiculous success with shiny hunting. I mean, especially, you know, if anybody caught the Take the Bus stream. And I mean, we could use a Flutter Mane too, but kind of the whole point is Screamtail, or at least the idea that I had for Screamtail, was to replace Flutter Mane as, not really as a special attacker, but to replace its slot in a way, because like Flutter Mane. So some of the problems that the Paradox Mons have is they're ridiculously strong. They have great stats, but the problem is, so like Screamtail's kind of the exception. Screamtail has ridiculous speed, ridiculously high defenses, ridiculously high HP. Like, this thing is a wall. She just doesn't hit as hard. You can mitigate that kind of. You can do something about that, but like Flutter Mane, stupid high speed, special attack, special defense, paper thin physical attack. Like, I am never afraid of a Flutter Mane because Scizor just bullet punches it and says, "Go fuck yourself." And I mean, obviously, I'm gonna predict, just in case it has Mystical Fire or whatever. Like, we're gonna Terra. We're gonna Terra for sure. That's assuming they even chose to stay in, but that's free bullet punch damage either way. Great Tusk. Fantastic attack, HP, physical defense, special defense is just ass. And then that you can kind of mitigate with an Assault Vest, but then it means you can't use your... You're basically playing without an ability. Which, more or less, you're playing without an ability either way, I suppose. Since, like, your ability just says, hey, this boosts one of your stats, and you have to use your item, so you're consuming your item. So it's... In a way, it's kind of a trade-off. The downside to that is then you're playing without an... You're getting one stat boosted, but then you're basically playing without an ability and without an item. Which, in the case of Roaring Moon, is fine, because you're just like, oh, well, acrobatics, I'll just fucking murder you. But, and even to a degree, Roaring Moon is somewhat frail, too. And just like Iron Valiant can be your attacker or defender, but is so fucking frail that was the problem, is we were trying to figure out a good replacement for Flutter Mane that could hit with special attacks without dying to, you know, a paper cut. And Screamtail kind of gives you a few options because it is stupid bulky. You can boost its stats. And it's super fast, too. Plus, it gets Perish Song. And you can do all kinds of shenanigans with that. There's another option that I had in mind. I haven't really discussed with anybody, and I'm kind of debating whether or not I will. At least not right now, until I have a chance to try it out. It does replace Flutter Mane. You lose a good bit of speed compared to Flutter Mane, but you're not frail, and you more or less hit just as hard as Fluttermane, but you get the chance to have a better item and a better ability. Well, in a sense, a better ability. A better ability enough to be able to deal with a couple threats that are relevant to competitive. Goldango in particular. Which is still one of the most prominent Pokemon in the game, and I really fucking hate it because he just looks so stupid. He's basically a yellow Gumby. And I mean, aside from his, like, they gave him ridiculous stats. They gave him ridiculously good typing. Then they gave him this ridiculously good move that actually hits both opposing Pokemon. So he's literally made for VGC. And then on top of that, they gave him, like, one of the most busted abilities. Like, you know, if Pokemon were a little more balanced, we could all just play with our favorite Pokemon, and, you know, nothing would really matter. I'd be rocking an Umbreon on my team. But that's not really the case. So we can't do that. And I mean, I hate it too because it kind of forces us to use Pokemon we don't want to use or don't like. Like I personally, I'm a Dragonite fanboy. Always have one ever since Gen 1. It's like they gave us Tyranitar and it's like, cool. This is a different pseudo Pokemon, same badassery. Could be a dragon, but it's not. But then we got an actual dragon when they're like, here's Salamence, and I'm like, I don't like this thing. Well, it's better Dragonite, but it's not. Thankfully, Gen 5 also agreed with me when we got multi-scale. Some people prefer Garchomp or, you know, Hydreigon, which Hydreigon has its benefits, but again, I don't like it. I'm just not a fan. Garchomp I don't have a problem with. I still prefer Dragonite, but I'm actually super open to the idea of using a Garchomp for my Saiyan team. I'm not going to let my Dragonite bias get in the way there. And I won't let bias get in the way regardless, but I mean, otherwise I'd be using a Gyarados on my team. But it's a little one-trick pony right now anyways. And Arcanine is just infinitely better for an Intimidate Pokemon. Oh, there's a bus. There's some baby buses. But so I mean, I know you can win without, like, that's the thing too, is like Dondozo's cool. I like Dondozo. It kind of reminds me of Wishy Washy, but in order to hit Wishy Washy kind of stats, you gotta have Tatsugiri and you do the whole commander thing, and that takes up 2 of your slots too, which obviously isn't a problem for some people. I just, it's not what I want to do. And same thing with Goldango. It's like, yes, I acknowledge Goldango is a good Pokemon. I do not acknowledge it has a good design, but obviously it is a good Pokemon for all the reasons we've already mentioned. But I don't have to use it to be able to win. Just like you don't have to use Dondozo. I'm pretty bummed that when you're facing the Dondozo Tatsugiri combo that even Parasong can't hit it, because I was kind of, when I first heard that Wolf won with a Perish Trap team, I mean, because obviously you don't even need a Trapper for Dozo, but I was just like, wait, does Perish Song also hit Tatsugiri? Well, I guess he can't hear the song, you know, being clamped down in Dozo's mouth. So, no, he doesn't hear the song, he doesn't die from it. So, otherwise, I would definitely have Screamtail on my team for sure. I think Screamtail can still work the way I want it to. I just won't know until I've had time to test it. How long we got left on this one? 11 minutes. Okay. Wait. I swore that one had red eyes. I'm going to have to go back and watch the stream later. I swear to God. I feel like this game does this thing to me where I look at it and it's shiny. And then, like, when I actually get up to it, it changes. I've had that so many times with Dunsparce. I'm like, I swore that one was fucking pink. But I feel like I looked at that one and looked away and its eyes were red. And then I looked back at it and it was yellow. I feel like we just got gypped. Yeah, I don't actually know what I want to do for a Season 2 team. I think I want to try different mons on different teams. I feel like for a regular team, I definitely want to go Roaring Moon. Which is ironic, because considering just when we were discussing dragons, I said, I don't really like Salamence. And I don't really like Mega Salamence either. But this is, like, it's a cool take on it, I guess. I don't know, I just like this one, and I like the shiny a lot. Plus, I like what I can do with it, compared to a regular Salamence. So, I'm definitely going Roaring Moon for a normal team. I might go Screamtail, just depending. I like Great Tusk, but I don't know what he pairs best with. Like, he could fit well on his sand team, kinda, because he's a ground type, so he doesn't get hurt by the sand. But that's really not enough of a reason to put him on a fucking sand team. Now, if he was a rock type, that'd be different. I mean, and you could Assault Vest him, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna, like, I don't know, I kind of had the idea already, but I've noticed a lot of people are putting Assault Vest on their Tyranitar, which, you know, by all means, because he's already got, what, base 100 special defense? He gets the boost from the sand, and then he gets another boost from the Assault Vest. Like, he's gonna tank some hits. The only type of hits he really won't tank is flying type, or fighting type, and most people are Terra flying for that. And even if not, as long as you Terra something, so you're not 4 times weak to fighting, you're gonna take the hit better. But that's the general idea. I mean, again, I love Great Tusk, but I'm just not sure what to do with him. I had the idea of using Iron Valiant as well, but I don't know. Roaring Moon fit a specific role I needed it to fit, and so far Screamtail has a specific role that I need it to fit. I'm not sure what Great Tusks will be. I'm kind of having this issue this gen where... Was it Gen 7? I think it was Gen 7. It might have been Gen 8. It was one of those 2 generations where I couldn't find a good balance on my team between special and physical attackers. But it was the opposite problem I have now, where it's like I can't find a good special attacker and all my shit is physical. Almost to the point that I was considering considering making Arcanine a specially attacking Arcanine instead of a physical one. I haven't ran the calcs. I know his attack is 110, his special is 100, just like a flat 100. But Flare Blitz is a base 120 power, I think. Which move is it? He gets a fire type move. Arcanine gets a fire type move that I think it's a special move, and I think it's a base 130. So I don't know if the 10 base power difference makes up for the base stat power between physical and special attack. But I feel like that could maybe work. It wouldn't really, I mean, thanks to the whole open team sheet garbage, it wouldn't really catch anybody off guard in an official tournament. Obviously, you know, playing through ranked on Switch would be fine. But I think it would still be enough of an issue that you'd have to consider it. Like, it makes me wonder too, would a specially offensive Arcanine, let's just say for instance that the base 10 difference between base 10 physical and special attack and the difference between Flare Blitz and the other fire type move. Let's say that the difference equals out to where it's exact same damage output. Usually when I try to do damage calcs for stuff like that, I'll pick a Pokemon. I usually pick a Pokemon that has base 100 stats or base the same stats. So a lot of times, depending on whether it's depending on what type of move I'm, you know, trying to calc damage for, I'll usually pick one of the mythicals: Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Manaphy, Victini, just to kind of set an equal attack and defense, or defense and special defense, and that way I can see on an even playing field whether or not it puts out more or less damage. So I definitely want to try that. It also comes down to, like, a lot of it comes down to items as well. Like, because Assault Vest is obviously a thing, but there's no like physically defensive option for like an Assault Vest, which is kind of annoying because we have, like, as far as the choice items, we have Choice Scarf for speed, obviously, and then we have Choice Band and Choice Specs, which covers both your physical and your special defense, increases both of them. So why then do we have Assault Vest to boost special defense and not, like, Assault Belt or Assault Helmet or Scarf for something that would boost the physical defense? Give you a little more options to play. So making a specially offensive Arcanine could potentially be worse because of Assault Vest. But a lot of the Pokemon that Arcanine threatens can't afford to run Assault Vest. Like Amoonguss, Brute Bonnet, and granted they can Terrasilize, but if they've already used their Terra, or they don't want to use their Terra, that would be an option to kind of threaten them, especially where they can't afford to run Assault Vest because they have to run stuff like Spore. They have to run stuff that doesn't allow. And I'm not sure how that works. Is it that it just basically Assault Vest says that, like, does Assault Vest just not work? Do you just not get the boost? Or do you get the boost and then it's just like, you can't use this attack because of Assault Vest? I kind of want to try that. I kind of want to just go battle a random Pokemon and test that. I might do that at some point. Just so I have an idea of if that's how it works. Because it may or may not. And I think like Amoonguss and Brute Bonnet, I'm pretty sure their physical and special defenses are similar. Similar enough to where it wouldn't really matter too much. Arcanine's another nice counter to Goldengo. Because, like, he doesn't really give a shit about Make It Rain. And I would assume, and I feel like I can't be wrong in making this assumption, but Goldengo being a Steel type, it's pretty much like implied that every Steel type is physically more defensive than specially. I don't think there's a case of any Steel type that's more specially defensive. And I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it. I haven't fact-checked my claim. But it is entirely possible. And that would also... that could also just straight up guarantee a KO on a Goldengo. Yeah, I figured it ran out. Via Arcanine's special ability. Not special ability, but the special attack. Is it Overheat? I don't remember what the move is. It may be that the move isn't even worth using because of whatever the drawback is, but you know, we weren't seeing a lot of Fluttermane that whole time. I know we started out seeing a couple of them here and there, but shit, what sandwich was that? It was a veggie shit. No. Yeah, it was this one. I actually have a few teams I want to try and make, but it's kind of like I have different ideas that I want to try, but at the same time, I just want to focus on, like, I don't want to focus on more than, say, 2 teams. Like, have a like, generic... What the fuck did that just... That just threw it in the ground. Mother of fucks. Well, there was no point doing that because, I mean, aside from the fact that that pretty much costs us more ingredients right there, it's straight up just like that sandwich. One thing fell off it, it's going to change all the stats, and it's going to be useless to us. I'm not even sure where... I'm still back here. Mother of... Alright. That's fine. I should have saved it before I started the stream, but it's whatever. can go back here. You can go back here. I need you. Nope, wrong box. And you. And then to put away your leftovers. I hate that being at the... Like, being at the 0 gate, there's no sound. But in Area 0, there is just sound everywhere. I feel like it's, like, to add this kind of mysterious, like, aura or whatever. Which it isn't really, but... Alright. Maybe I should start with this tomato this time. Since they are basically just giant, flat slabs of fruit. This would probably be a little easier too if you could rotate the stuff that you put on. Like, some of this stuff is not relevant, but like this onion, like, you're not getting an onion, like a full onion slice. You're getting this kind of, whatever you want to call this. It's like half of an onion slice, almost like a little less. I can see a Mungus just staring at the table in the background and Gengar floating around. They're like, hurry up. Make this fucking sandwich. Oh, they changed spots. I would just jump off the top of the mountain here down into the crater, since you find Screamtail right at the beginning of Area 0, but now that I've had some time to consider, and it's like, oh, I could find Fluttermane, because that's also a fairy type. I'd rather find a shiny Fluttermane than I would the shiny flower shit. Not to mention, I don't even remember what the difference is in the colors. Kind of like Deerling, the only difference in the shinies was like the flower on top of its head. And I don't know what the difference is between the normal and the shiny for... What are they all staring at? The actual little flower shit. So I would more than likely end up missing it. And even though I wouldn't care for it, a shiny's a shiny, so... Whereas, like, there's no way I'm missing a shiny Fluttered. Unless I just straight up didn't see it. But, point being, I can't miss it because of, like, a shitty shiny coloration. Which, I mean, if I remember correctly, shiny Mischievous is green. So, the shiny color there makes sense. Shiny... Is shiny Miss Magius also green? I would rather Screamtail's shiny be closer to shiny Wigglytuff's. Like, it gets the, like, the darker tail, like, head tail thing, which I guess is similar. But, like, I'd much prefer, like, the really green eyes over these, like, murderous red eyes. See, I thought that one was red. It's fucking with my head. I feel like the green would stand out more too. I actually really like Wigglytuff too. Way back in the day, I used to prefer Clefable, like Clefairy and Clefable. And then I realized, I don't know, somewhere along the way, my opinions kind of changed. And, like, I like Wigglytuff more than Jigglypuff. But I actually like Clefairy more than Clefable now. Clefable seems like it's just... It's more in a way I don't want more. Whereas Wigglytuff does the exact opposite. And Screamtail really is like a Wigglytuff, or it's like a Jigglypuff that was holding a Mega Mewtwo, what's called Mewtwo and Night Y Stone, and it caused it to like Mega Evolve into this like Jiggly 2. I don't know. Like I don't hate the design. I feel like it could have been better. I feel like it basically having this like giant ass hair tail is not the best design they could have come up with, but eh. The best ones, in my opinion, are definitely Roaring Tail and Great Tusk. I really like Iron Valiant, too. And I mean, in all honesty, the whole reason I switched from Violet to Scarlet was because I liked the Paradox Pokemon better. Violet's Paradox Pokemon just aren't as great. I really like the Paradox Tyranitar. I wish it was good. I wish there was a way to make it good. But there's just not. Unless running it on the same team as a Tyranitar would work. Because he's what? Rock Electric, I think? So he'd still get the special defense boost. But is that worth... Oh, if only regular shiny, like regular Tyranitar shiny was orange instead of the tan color it is. Granted, I'd probably like it more. Even though I like the color because then I like naming it Shukaku. But if it was orange, then I would name them the Brothers Paradox. Because you'd have a green Tyranitar and an orange one. Oh, it'd be the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Inside joke that almost nobody would get. Oh man. I would even go so far as to nickname them. I mean, in a way, I guess, like, they are, like, you know, related Pokemon. But only one of them's a Paradox Pokemon. So I suppose both Donphan Paradox Pokemon would fit better. Since they're both Paradox Pokemon of the same Pokemon. But it just wouldn't be the same. And there's really not as much synergy there. At least I don't think so. So I think the other issue with that Sand team that I was talking with Drewby about is that and Screamtail does not fix this at all. So Screamtail helps us in no way with this issue, but like one of the biggest things Fluttermane's biggest flaw is its physical defense, which there isn't really a Pokemon that I can think of that he had. I think he may have had Talonflame. I'm trying to remember now. The team. It may have had Talonflame on it, which works, I guess. But like if you're stuck with Fluttermane out there and like Garchomp is not earthquaking. If you earthquake, I mean unless you protect. I don't remember if I mean a lot of Fluttermanes are choiced. I know Scar, like some of them run Scarf more than they run Scarf more than they run the booster ability item. No, actually it was choiced because he specifically hated the fact that it was choiced, which means it does not have protect, which means like you can't freely just go protect earthquake. I mean, sure you could swap into Gale into Talonflame, but see, Talonflame is one of those Pokemon that like there's no reason not to like it, and I like Talonflame more than I like some of the other regional birds. Like I'm an OG Pidgeot fan. Even though I like Noctowl's design, but everybody knows Noctowl is trash, and there's no way to fix that outside of like a Paradox or a new evolution or something. Which I'd definitely be down for a new evolution for it. That'd be cool as shit. But it just sucks. Taillow and Swellow I like. I'm not a big Staraptor fan. Again, I prefer Pidgeot. I hate Unpheasant. And then the thing with Talonflame is he is your starter bird Pokemon, but that's it. That's where the similarity ends because all those other Pokemon are normal flying. Whereas Talonflame evolves into a fire type and then becomes fire flying and of course hates rock all the worse, but he also gets rid of his ice weakness, so But I don't dislike Talonflame. Not as much as I dislike the other birds. But I mean, again, that's kind of it's one of those things that he could also just take specs off of Fluttermane. I mean, Fluttermane doesn't need specs. Like it really doesn't. It hits stupid hard. I mean, okay, let me rephrase, just in case I get corrected on it. I don't think Fluttermane needs specs for single target damage. Obviously, giving it specs would make Dazzling Gleam much better. But as far as Moonblast and Shadow Ball, if you're hitting super effective, you're probably going to straight up Oko. So I mean, take away specs, and even if you wanted to boost like special damage, you could even just give it Life Orb. Especially, it's going to take some good hits regardless. Physically, it's going to die no matter what. So that little Life Orb damage recoil isn't changing anything. Like it's not making or breaking it. So that gives you a higher damage output that you're looking for, while not restricting your moveset from you having Protect on there. Of course, then you kind of have like 4 move slot syndrome where you can't really pack everything. Like, I've seen some people running Power Gem to deal with fire types, I'm assuming. Or, like, specifically, like you deal with Arcanine. Though you're gonna outspeed Arcanine, probably kill with a Shadow Ball regardless, so that's... I feel like that's a moot point. But, nonetheless, to deal with fire types... And then, of course, I'm assuming the Mystical Fire I've seen people running is to deal with Steel types, although I've never seen anybody use it against the Steel type. But I mean, what other... besides Terra... we're not... Any Pokemon can be Terra Steel, so that's not a... But, like, straight up regular Steel types... I mean, I guess a lot of Pokemon probably do go Terra Steel just because you can avoid, like, Clear Smog and... You know, it's better defensively, I suppose. But as far as regular Steel types go, it's, what, Goldengo? Maybe... Scizor's not as prevalent in Series 2 as I think it was in Series 1. I still like Scizor because I just feel like he's got so much utility. And I feel like he has probably, outside of Extreme Speed, Bullet Punch from Scizor is, I think, the best priority move. You get Stab Boost from it, you get Technician Boost, you get whatever your item boost is. And then on top of that, if it's super effective, you're probably just gonna kill. But Bullet Punch is a strong enough move that I feel like you don't need to have a stronger Steel type move like Iron Head. The only reason I would probably... See, that was my initial thought process. Mine doesn't have Iron Head at the moment. The build I'm running is... I opted to run Swords Dance, which I think has worked out in my favor so far. And then Bullet Punch, and then Pounce. I was testing out. I figured my thought was, especially on a lot of grass types, or even the Pokemon that Terra Grass, like Iron Hands, although it doesn't really matter at that point because Scizor's pretty much going to be faster than that regardless. But Pounce gives you a Stab Bug type move that gets boosted by Technician and lowers the Pokemon's speed. So it can be beneficial, but then I also have Protect on there. So I need to find a way to fit, because Bullet Punch on its own is 40. It gets the boost from Stab, it goes to 60, and it gets another Technician boost to 80. So it's an 80 base power. It's basically the same power as an Extreme Speed, but has a type. So while it can also be resisted, it can hit things super effectively to do more damage to kill. But in hindsight, Iron Head still does more damage, and if stuff is slower, you don't have to have the priority. But also the fact that if, say, you're playing against whatever their team is irrelevant, but if they've got, is it Misty Terrain? No, it's... Misty Terrain's the fairy type one. What is it, Psychic Terrain? I think it's just called Psychic. Psychic Terrain prevents priority moves. So then it's like, okay, so Bullet Punch is now off the table. I have no Steel type. I have no offensive move outside of Pounce, which is still, again, not bad, but if you're especially needing that Steel type move, you're kind of fucked at that point. So then I have to also decide, is it worth is it better to run Pounce and have a secondary typing? Or is it better to keep Swords Dance and do more damage? Scissor's not a frail Pokemon at all, but it is a Pokemon I feel like I'd rather have Protect on. Especially in case of like fire type attacks. And I can't terrestrialize. I feel like I'd rather leave that option open. I feel like I'd rather leave that option open. And I mean, what resists steel? Fire? I'm not leaving it out on a fire type. Which, of course, Pounce isn't going to matter either way. Water, but I'm not really weak to water. And steel resists, but outside of Goldingo, most steel types... Actually, I think Magneton is, what, base 70 speed? So a Magneton invested in speed... Of course, what, you wouldn't run Magneton anyways unless you were an Eviolite. Could outspeed Scizor, but I think the only steel type that really outspeeds Scizor is Goldingo. Maybe Iron Treads. I'd have to double check his speed stat. But I don't know. Pounce, and the speed boost from Pounce doesn't, and the speed drop from Pounce isn't really the point to using it. It's just the fact that it's another stab move that gets the Technician boost. And we don't have, what is that other bug type move that we used to have for Scizor? They took it away this generation. I don't remember. But that just, it gives us another type that we can use besides steel type attacks. So, it's the difference between options versus output. Because you've got the damage output of either having Swords Dance or having Iron Head for extra damage, or having Pounce or Protect for extra options offensively or defensively. Pounce might be... I mean, Pounce would definitely, if it hasn't... I wonder. I mean... Pounce is base 50. It's base 50. Technician boost goes to 75. Stab boost goes to 100. And then super effective against, say, Brute Bonnet. Well, Brute Bonnet would be 4 times super effective. But even against, say, Terra Grass, Iron Hands, Pounce would do more damage than Iron Head would. So I feel like having that option there is a good thing. But if you plan Swords Dance just right, and they either swap out or they protect, you've now got... I mean, that damage output is now huge. And I wouldn't dare get greedy with more than one boost unless I knew for a fact that they had to switch out both their mons. But even then, I'd probably one boost is like, okay, you're now at 200% damage output. Just start smacking shit. It's literally just better that way. This indigestion is not going away. I had jalapeno poppers with dinner and they're great. But, whew, they're determined to make it difficult to sleep tonight. I don't know what that was. It just fell off the world. I try my damnedest to not take too long looking at everything. But considering I've had a Gyarados, a shiny Gyarados pop in and pop out as I got too far away from it, that's just kind of like a paranoia that I have. And sadly, there's no way to get outbreaks for Paradox Pokemon. So, there's no added shiny bonuses that we can apply for. Like I said, I still wouldn't mind getting a shiny Fluttermane because it is still a good ass Pokemon. You just want to position it to where it's only taking special attacks. Because even uninvested, 135 special defense is pretty substantial, though I don't remember the exact number, but Fluttermane doesn't have a very good HP stat either, which I think is part of the problem, is that combined with a low HP base and the physical base, that's why it can't take anything. And again, you know, because I'm so determined to at least have one or two of my favorite Pokemon on a team. Like, my Season 1 team was nothing but favorite Pokemon. I mean, Gengar, Raichu, Dragonite. I wouldn't say Arcanine's one of my favorites. I did have Gyarados, but Arcanine is just a better Gyarados, as far as what the two of them have in common. I think I said Dragonite already. Scizor, and then Annihilate, which I already liked Primeape before, but it was really hard to justify running a Primeape. He can hit like a truck, but his move pool was just kind of eh. But then Annihilate pretty much took Primeape, turned it up to fucking 12, and then on top of that gave it a ridiculously OP move. And a good typing, too. So, Primeape became one of my new favorite Pokemon. Or, well, Annihilate. So, I kind of want to keep that a little bit. Plus, I think Scizor is splashable on just almost any team. I did not touch this thing. We're gonna do this shit, seriously. I don't even think you can touch me. Go away. That's gonna do really nothing. Like, you're just wasting my time. But, yeah, I mean, Scizor is splashable, and look how gold he looks right now. My god, I love the way they did shinies in this game. Especially Magneton. Like, if I could, and for those of you that know, and even those of you that don't, Magneton was my very first shiny that I caught in a game outside of the Red Gyarados in Gen 2. I caught him in Unknown Dungeon in Leaf Green. So, like, I'd love to use Magneton. But I mean, I have shiny Sandy Shocks, which is Paradox Magneton. Which I know Drewby took that to Orlando, got him 57th, so I feel like that's another thing too. I feel like Sandy Shocks could be a really good I thought I saw a shiny and it was a damn reflection. Sandy Shocks would work for the Flutter Mane for that Sand team because it's got better defenses all around. It's not as fast and can't hit as hard, but it's also not a Steel type, which, you know, actual Magneton is. But I mean, yeah, so Sizzler fits on a Sand team. He's immune to the sand damage. Fits on a Rain team because fire damage is halved in the rain. So he's only taking 2 times damage from fire type moves, which he may live those. And then obviously he just fits on just a generic team in general because, I mean, like we mentioned, that Technician boost, and especially with the Swords Dance, or even depending what item you give him. Like, you can straight up, I know a lot of older builds, I mean, I ran one myself in the past, ran Choice Band, but I hate choice items. Like, choice items work better for singles, but since VGC uses doubles, it's not as, I don't think choice items are as good, in my opinion. Because there's too many instances where you're going to want to switch moves, or you're gonna, you know, try and use protect, or it's just yeah, choice items just aren't my thing. And for Magneton specifically, you can give Magneton Eviolite. He'll be a little faster, but that's really it. That's the only benefit besides just looking much better. Because while Magnezone is great, I like its design. Magneton's just classic Gen 1. It's just better. And I'm not really a Gen 1er, but I mean, I grew up with Gen 1, so you just get over it. But the only benefit is you've got that extra base 10 speed. The Eviolite, more or less. Oh, it's a Glamora. I was like, what is wrong? What is that giant blue spot? Alright, ran out. Damn. Guess we'll go make another sandwich. But the only benefit is the increase in speed. The Eviolite pretty much, and it brings it down to like decimal differences. The damage, or the defense and the special defense is so, it's such a, I don't know why I did that, I can just fly out of here. It's such a small difference that it almost doesn't even matter. The HP, I don't even think the HP stat was really different enough to mitigate it, if I remember from my calcs. And Magneton, I believe, is base 100 and... Is 120 base power? I think the main difference is you trade out speed for damage output. And in the case of a Pokemon like Magneton versus Magnezone, where neither one of them is very fast. Like Magneton having a base 70 doesn't even matter unless you invest in the speed stat. Like, it still just doesn't make a fucking difference, really. I mean, because Tailwind will raise its speed, but again, it's still slow. Now, and if you were, like, running Trick Room, or you were trying to, as a counter for Trick Room, whatever, obviously Magnezone's just better anyways. So it's a small difference in speed versus special attack output. But then also, Magneton has the freedom of having an item. Whereas, or Magnezone does. Magneton does not, because Magneton's got the Eviolite. So then, Magnezone could run Assault Vest, it could run, Life Orb, it could run a choice item, it could, whatever it wants to run. And that's why I kind of think overall, Magnezone would just be better. And I need to get that other shiny Magneton I have evolved and trained so I can use it. Because I feel like I've got a good idea for how to utilize it best. But I kind of can't say for sure. I've basically got it down to, like, the EV build and moveset. And, nope, stop. We're done picking. And the only thing that I need to figure out is the Terra type. Actually, no. I think I had the Terra type figured out, too. I think that was one of the first things that I had to figure out. It only benefited if I played it the right way. Which, I mean, that's how Pokemon is in general, but especially VGC. You've got to play your shit on point, or you just what? I guess everything is like looking at the thing in the middle, the gate or whatever they all come out of. The only other thing that bugs me, and I really wish I could speak to someone... I really wish I could speak to someone who knows what they're talking about. Someone that that has viable, legitimate proof that they have had success in VGC. I'm not calling out, Wolf to personally speak to me himself and explain to me why Open Team Sheets is better. Because I feel like Open Team Sheets would possibly ruin my my build idea. Possibly for Screamtail and for Magnezone. It also may not ruin either. Like, there's a good chance that it wouldn't ruin either one. But I don't know. Pokemon's changed so much over the years, and with Gen 5, when it was like, it changed it to where you had the whole team preview thing. That was a whole thing, especially in my friend group, because then suddenly you knew what Pokemon everybody had. Which then we realized it's not really knowing the Pokemon. It's like, okay, they could have this, but some Pokemon, especially like Tyranitar, could have whatever the fuck it wanted. Physical, special, mixed, defensive. There's so many options. I was like, okay, that's not really a big deal. But then now it's like, okay, here's pretty much everything. You know what moves they have. You know what item they have. You know what Terra type they are. The only thing you don't know is the nature and the EV spread. Which is like, well, fucking A, how much more info do you need to feel comfortable to play? And I understand the argument of, well, a skilled player will be able to use that knowledge, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, we didn't need this info for 8 generations. And then you've got the people that are like, well, I don't think... I'm fine with everything, but I don't think they should reveal the Terra type. I would rather the Terra type be revealed than the moveset, personally. For me personally, it feels like it takes away your ability to have something for a counter, because then if they know it's a counter, they're obviously not going to do what you kind of need them to for the counter to be effective. And it doesn't have to. You can still, bring said Pokemon. It can still do good. But obviously, if they have... Say they have, like, their team has Annihilate and Kingambit. Well, in VGC, Kingambit is better running Defiant than he is running whatever the last man standing ability is. I don't remember what it's called. Where he gets a boost for every fainted Pokemon. That doesn't really afford you as much of a benefit. Especially with it being such a, like... It's an ability that can only trigger 3 times. But by that point, you may have already needed to use Gambit. And if you didn't, well, it's better for singles, I think. It's another singles ability that just works better. So you're going to run Defiant. So if they have 2 Pokemon running Defiant, 2 Pokemon that hit hard as fuck, you're not bringing Arcanine. You're not risking bringing Arcanine. And if Arcanine is... Like, Arcanine's not really a counter to Annihilate anyways. Sure, Kingambit's a Steel type, but if Arcanine is your counter to Kingambit, and that's the only way you can handle it, well, one, you're doing something wrong anyways, because the Intimidate's going to do way more damage to your strategy than a Flare Blitz is going to do to that Kingambit. So, like, you're automatically not going to bring that thing to that battle. Unless they deem to change strategies game 2 or 3, or, whatever. I got up to get a drink. I've got some nice cold chocolate milk to hopefully ease my indigestion before I lay down. Haha, go fuck yourself. And this little fuck came up behind me. I feel like 5 of them shiny. And that one wasn't even shiny. I also feel like, and I don't want to sit and bitch about the whole open team sheet thing, because I feel like I've already had my say on it, and it's not a new thing anymore, so it's not worth it. And it sure as hell won't change. But if, say, you ran, like we were discussing earlier, if you ran a specially offensive Arcanine, which the thing is with that too, is a lot of Arcanines, I think almost every Arcanine runs Snarl. So unless you're, like, what stat are you lowering so you're not hurting? And I mean, Snarl's not supposed to do damage. Anyways, it's utility. You're just using it to lower their special attack, which is fine. But if you're running special build, or if you're running, I mean, you could do, I think mine's Adamant and I have Snarl on it. So it's whatever, because again, it's a utility and not damage move. But, oh, I didn't even see this thing. But if, say, you're running a special build, your Snarl's going to do a little more damage anyways. And then, of course, you've got your fire type move. You could still even run extreme speed. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I have extreme speed on mine. How much time do I have? I have 20 minutes. We can check it real quick. No, I have Willow. I have Willow, which, I don't know. Extreme speed is fine. Having priority is fine, but it's one of those things where you can't prepare for everything. I have Protect on it because I feel like Arcanine's not bulky enough to not run Protect, and you're not running a choice Pokemon, so it's whatever. But it kind of comes down to, there are 2 Pokemon in the competitive meta that both, in their own way, fuck up Will-O-Wisp or Extreme Speed. Because you've got Psychic Terrain, which prevents priority. So Extreme Speed, not doing shit. And granted, it's not really necessary. I'm pretty sure. Now, unless they're indeed has Trick Roomed, or the armor is just Trick Roomed, I'm pretty sure even, is Armourouge? I don't think it's fast enough. I think, drop down, you idiot. I think Arcanine outspeeds them regardless, so Flare Blitz is just more damage. It's just better overall. But if, say, they're running a Trick Room team, the Extreme Speed, well, Extreme Speed doesn't really matter either way. If they're running the Psychic Terrain, if they're running Indeedee. Whereas Grimmsnarl, which is a Pokemon I hate. I hate the design. I hated its evolution, the whole evolution line in Gen 8. Sword and Shield, it was easily one of my least favorite new Pokemon, and I know that probably upset so many people. And I can't deny it's good typing. I can't deny it's a good Pokemon. It's got Prankster. Again, but it's like Goldengo. It's a good Pokemon. I fucking hate the thing. Like, all 3 of its evolutions, from Impidimp to whatever the emo one is, to Grimmsnarl, they're just, they looked like fan-made Pokemon. And I still stand by that. Just like Goldingo, I still stand by that he looks like a fucking... He looks like he belongs in a fan-made ROM hack. They're good Pokemon, just not good designs. But if he's running Misty Terrain, then Will-O-Wisp is useless. The freaking lighting around the crystals like makes the tip of their tail look purple, which is a shiny color, and it's really throwing me off. So it's just, yeah. It's like you can't provide for everything. But the thing to me is extreme speed while fully invested in attack is, I mean, base 110 is not bad. But I don't think you're ever going to have a normal Terra type Arcanine. I know some people tried it. It was around for a little bit, but I don't think it didn't stick. It wasn't like Dragonite that was just like fucking ham-fisting everybody with Terra type normal extreme speed and possibly even fucking choice band just because. And trying to pick up KOs. That gives Dragonite, it gave Dragonite more usability. And, you know, I love Dragonite, but it just, to me, if you're going to such lengths that if you have to terrestrialize to make the build playable, that's I mean, it's gonna pick up KOs and stuff, and multi-scale's a good ability, and but it just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like it's. I don't want to say balanced. I don't know how to describe it. To me, it's just not. It's not right. You're giving up too much. It's like with the case with like Magneton versus Magnezone. You're giving up your ability to have another item just for like trading one small stat difference for another. And I feel like it's just not worth it. And granted, that's a shit ton of damage between a choice band and that's cool. It's like, whatever. Okay, cool. You can swap out, and you can use one of your other moves when you swap it back in. But unless it's picking up a quick KO, which it does not even seem to be the case, based on its usage in the top tables in Orlando, it's just not. It's not worth the trade-off. And again, Arcanine having extreme speed is great, but it doesn't. I don't feel like it's got that benefit. And I feel like I'd rather have. Will-O-Wisp. I feel like Willow, and then Flare Blitz, Snarl, Protect, or insert other fire type move, Flare Blitz, or nope, Snarl, and Protect. I also had, I had leftovers on my Arcanine, but I was convinced to go to Citrus Berry instead, and again, that's a VGC versus singles thing where Citrus Berry is just gonna play out. It's gonna be more useful because there's not as many turns. VGC matches can go so fast. So anyway, I don't know. I think a lot about it, and I overthink a lot of it too. which is kind of part of my problem, but I definitely think Arcanine is a good mon. Scizor is a good mon. I'm going to have that on my Season 2 team. Roaring Moon. And I'm not sure what else. I have an Amoonguss. Its build is probably not much different than everybody else's. And I know how to utilize it. I actually trained it for my Trick Room team. And that Trick Room team underwent several changes. But I don't use Indeedee. I don't have the Indeedee Hatterene. I'm not using Armor Rouge for shit because my Trick Room user is Slowbro. Because that was like my OG Trick Room user. I like Slowbro. So, I don't know. I don't know. Now, I'll see how Screamtail works. Screamtail might work really well for me. Sandy Shocks, again. I've already got one EV trained, and it's shiny, so I don't have to worry about finding one of those. I intentionally made it to where it was the first shiny Paradoxmon I caught. And then I've got the Pokemon for the Sand team, so really I've got 3 teams kind of in the works. I wanted to do a Rain team, but the thing is, right now we don't have a lot of the Pokemon I like for a Rain team. Same thing with like a Sun team. I would rather, like, I'm not. Torkoal's fine, but I feel like with Torkoal, I would rather do like a Trick Room Sun team, like straight dedicated to both. And I don't feel like that's right. If we had Ninetales, that obviously that would be my Sunsetter. Just like I don't want to use I guess now it's Snow since Hail is no longer a thing. I don't want to use a Snow team with Abomasnow. I'd rather use the Alola Ninetales. So it kind of limits my options, but Tyranitar's in the game, so OG Sandsetter, and even Hippowdon's in the game too. And Hippowdon's not bad. It's no Tyranitar, but it's better. It's a better option in my opinion than the others. And then Rain is Pelipper, and I'm like, I don't like Pelipper. Like Politoed having Drizzle, that was my shit. I love Politoed. I'm sure it'll be like with the DLC with Sword and Shield where we get some returning Pokemon, and I don't know who I want to return this time. I want to see, I'd love to see Nidoking in this game. But with the upgraded textures and shit, and Steelix, because I'd love to see how Steelix looks with the new shiny metallic texture they have going for steel types. But otherwise, as far as usage, I'd love Wishy-Washy. I mean, my good bulky water type. Suicune, obviously, that was my OG water type for the longest. But then as far as a sand team, I didn't actually even use Garchomp on my old sand team. I had what's the ability called? Is it Solid Rock? I had Rhyperior on it. This was my back in Gen 5. I had a Rhyperior on it. Had that ability that cuts super effective damage. I had some shit, man. I had it set up for sure. But I never ran Garchomp because I wasn't a big Garchomp person. I like Cynthia as a character, but I don't simp after her like a lot of people do. And as far as champions go, it's between Gary and Steven Stone. Those are my favorite champions. So Garchomp to me was just kind of but I'm gonna use it with this one. Uh, Obviously for I'd say for various reasons, but they're obvious reasons. That was a little close. I love if these like some of the shit like you could click on it and read it, and I don't know, like I wish there was a little more lore to Area Zero, because the most like by the end of the game, spoilers if you haven't finished the game, like the whole shit with the machine. Actually, I'll try and be kind of spoiler free ish, but with the machine and the professor and like that's cool and all, but then the way the way the story played out, where it's like, oh well, these things only exist in Area Zero because of the machine and the professor's meddling. Well, is that a shiny? That one is a shiny. Well, that's not what I was here for, but I'll take it. See, like, look at that. That's such a good shiny. Wow, it dodged, really? Like, that's such a good shiny compared to Garchomp. Like, Gibble got a good shiny. Gabite got a good shiny. And then Garchomp just... It could have been this color, it could have been the dark blue, but they just had to ruin it. And I'm actually afraid to attack a Gibble because, I mean, I'm not invested in attack at all here. And the whole reason I brought Gengar was for Nightshade, but that was for Screamtail, so let's just throw in the Luxury Ball. The Luxury Ball doesn't match its color scheme, but the reason I was going to use Luxury Ball is because it evolves into Garchomp, that's Cynthia's Pokemon, and Luxury Ball is her Pokeball. It's thematic, alright? Before I sit here and look at it and be like, oh, blue and yellow, let me just use a Quick Ball. Which is already too late for that, but we'll get the whole Twitter Pokemon community yelling at me for using a Quick Ball on a shiny. I mean, it's level 58. It's gotta have enough HP, right? I don't know if I still have the damage calc open on my computer. Yeah, Gibble 58. It's got 153 HP. Okay. But it's only living one Nightshade. And this is actually the Gengar that I used during my playthrough. Why'd you wake up? I don't have Nightshade on my EV trained Gengar because, well, yeah. So, alright, we got a shiny. It's not any of the shinies I was going to be hunting tonight. I wanted to get the Scream Tail, and then get a Larvitar. Before this game, I used to look at, like, people that used, like, the whole team was shiny, and I'm just like, I don't know, because shiny hunting before was so much more difficult, but at the same time, you're like, I don't really believe your team is legit. Especially because, like, Pokehex and whatever the other program was were a thing. Oh, come on, your Sandvale's pissing me off. And I realize my team kind of looks that way now, but it's like, because some of the shinies are just better. But like this one, like this Amoonguss, I only trained it because I had the shiny. And if you saw the clip that I uploaded to the YouTube before, it was just a random shiny I encountered when I was going to hunt for a shiny Bisharp. So it wasn't even, I wasn't even trying to get the shiny. But it's purple, so obviously I'll use it. Okay, this is starting to piss me off. Sandstorm subsided. So unless it goes for another sandstorm. Went for dig, okay. We will live another dig. Spore will hit you next turn. And if it doesn't, after that, we'll just start throwing friggin' balls, because it's at half HP. But it's so easy to shiny hunt in this game. But I'm not actually going to have a full shiny team, depending on what the Pokemon are. Because obviously, like, I mean, Gyarados, Red Gyarados, I have to. Scizor, I was actually not going to have one because Red Scizor just looks so good in this game. But by chance, I ended up coming across a Scyther outbreak and ended up catching a shiny Scyther. So now I've got a shiny Scizor for the first time ever, and it looks really good in this game. The green does. So I thought, why not just use it this time? Obviously, Gengar, I'm never... Yeah, that pretty much ate up all my sandwich time. Obviously, Gengar, I'm never going to use a shiny of because its shiny looks like ass. Unless they've made its shiny better, like they did with Garchomp, which I still haven't tested that. See, here's the shiny Gabite. Like, that's such a nice shade of blue. Why did they just have to fuck Garchomp like that? So, but more than likely, even, like, I have a shiny Ghastly. But even then, it would, oh my god, this controller. I probably would just end up using just a normal Gengar, which I already have trained and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so it's not as much of a thing to... I mean, you shouldn't judge people anyways. But it's not as much of a thing to kind of... Like, it doesn't have as bad of a look as it used to. And I mean, a lot of Pokemon have good-ass shinies. And a lot of them were made... Mother freak. Oh my god, stop. My hands are just not cooperating. Some of them were made better. Like, Dragonite looks better, Flareon looks better. Obviously, Magneton just looks so much better. But then you've also got, like with Screamtail, the colors just look better. I mean, if you like the pink doesn't look bad, but the purple looks better in my opinion. Or like with... Now with the Violet Paradox Pokemon, it's just taking the color away. Which is, whatever, but it's not as... doesn't make it as good of a shiny. Whereas... like Roaring Moon, for example, I almost didn't want to get a shiny one. Because the turquoise blue just, it's more of like a cyan blue, looks so good. Like, it's a really fucking good color. And then the shiny is like a turquoise green color, and it's a really good color too. But I like the green color, and then the way the wings have like a shiny Ho-Oh-esque color scheme to it, that's what sold me on it. But both colors look really good. Scizor, both colors look really good. Gyarados, you got blue, you got red. But most of the Violet Paradox Pokemon, they just, taking the colorway doesn't look as good to me, with the exception of Iron Valiant. Sure, you take away the green. The green looks good too, but I just love the Battle City Seto Kaiba look that this Pokemon has. That, for me personally, I would rather use that. But of course, the chances of me having anyone to shiny hunt the shiny Iron Valiant with right now, not happening. Which is fine. It's hits really hard either way, but it's frail. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure it's more frail than Roaring Moon is, for sure. But Roaring Moon is also about the... I don't know if I saved. I don't think I did. If I save, does it save the, I mean, more or less it just means I just threw away, like, sandwich materials, but, yeah. Does it save the sandwich? So, like, I'm sitting here at, you know, a fresh 29 minutes. If I were to restart the game, because we didn't get a shiny, do I then have those 29 minutes to just start over? I don't know. If we don't find a shiny with this sandwich, I might try that. See, and that's the thing too, is like that was a dragon. It was a dragon ground Pokemon. It wasn't even like affected by the sandwich at all. But it was just a fucking shiny that was just there. Like, it's so easy to find shiny Pokemon in this game, especially once you've got the shiny charm. I mean, I found 2 during my playthrough. Just during my normal playthrough of the game, I was catching stuff, but obviously I wasn't gonna have the shiny charm before I beat the game. And I had shiny... What was it I caught shiny? I know I got the shiny Go-Goat. It was something else that was... It would have been something I trained, I guess, if it's not in that spot. Maybe it was the Growlithe? I don't think so. Anyway, I caught 2 shinies just during my playthrough, and then you just run into shinies that you're not even, like, looking for. They're either just happen to be there or you're running past them when you're on your way from point A to point B. It'll probably come down to whichever ability. I'm pretty sure that Gibble had fucking Sandvale, no doubt. Actually, is Rough Skin its hidden ability? I'm not sure, but it'll come down to like abilities and stats, natures, whatever, I guess, as to whether I evolve the Gibble or the Gabite. Both of which I caught here in Area 0, so I don't... It's kind of an issue I have with, like, if I decided to, which I think at some point I'm going to, shiny hunt to have a shiny living dex. I don't know if I'm going to do that for Pokemon Home. I mean, because I can, you know, shiny hunt some of those in Let's Go. I can hunt some of them in Sword and Shield, but there'd still be plenty I'd be missing. That's a whole other thing. I don't know that I would want to attempt that part yet. Oh, come on. Oh, this controller just hates me so bad. There's no way you're outspeeding this thing. I mean, really, I don't think... Well, I mean, we're like 20 levels above. Almost 30 levels above. And I did train this one for speed. Yeah. So in that case, we can get away. But in the case that I were going to, you know, that I choose to evolve one to use a shiny Garchomp for my sand team, then which one do I evolve? Which one do I think I'm gonna have an easier time of finding another shiny for? Because both those I just found randomly. So if I'm not hunting them, then it just comes down to just a random RNG roll of which one I'd find first. I feel like it'd be easier to find Gibble because obviously there are more of them around, even in here and other places. I may even, just for the sake of it, just shiny hunt a Gibble. Just do like a level 2 dragon sandwich and just hunt a Gibble real quick so that I have one. And then I'll have all 3. And I may find another one at some point after that. Who knows? But then at least I wouldn't... at least at that point, then I'd have all 3 and I wouldn't be concerned. Because the issue too is it's like, oh, well, if I evolve the Gibble and then I run into another Gabite, well, then I've got 2 Gabites and a Garchomp. But if I just see if I can get another one first, then it's whatever. And obviously, I mean, there is that terrestrialized Garchomp you can catch over in that, I don't even know what that area is. But if you get that one, maybe it could be shiny. But I think that's pretty much the only wild Garchomp you can catch. Kind of like how in Sword and Shield in the wild area, depending on the time of day or the weather or whatever, there could be a shiny Tyranitar or a shiny Rhydon. In one area there's not shiny, did I even say shiny? A wild Tyranitar, a wild Rhydon, a wild There was a wild Gengar in one area. Of course, they're all like level 60, but it didn't take me this long to find shiny Great Tusk. I'm pretty sure I got. I mean, I got the two off of the same sandwich. I'm pretty sure that was the first sandwich I did. I think. Well, correction. It was the first like regular encounter level 2 ground sandwich or fighting or whichever I did. Because I know at first I tried a sparkling sandwich and those things just, they just don't fucking work for me. Like I've even seen in the videos where I've used the John Austin videos either for finding where to shiny hunt or using, you know, this sandwich or what ingredients for sandwiches, and you know, he'll catch the goddamn shit. He'll encounter the shit while he's explaining the video he's, you know, about to do. But those sparkling sandwiches don't really work for me. I know I did get my shiny Sandy Shocks and the first shiny Raichu by using a sparkling sandwich. I did do that. But I've still not had much success with them. And even, you know, my more recent hunt for Shiny Roaring Moon, I did with the level 2 encounter sandwich. Because they just work better. I tried a sparkling sandwich for it. Because I read that it's one of the most difficult Paradox Pokemon to shiny hunt. Because it only appears in this one cave and whatever. Which is really weird because apparently that's the case. But Iron Valiant is like, will pop up a shit ton of them at once. Which even with just the level 2 encounter sandwich, there were still several that popped up on screen at once. But compared to the Iron Valiant video, which Iron Valiant's the only, I don't remember if it's the only fairy or the only steel type that's in there. Not steel type. Fairy or fighting type. One or the other. That sandwich worked a lot easier than... I'm not even seeing Fluttermane at all. Oh, I wasn't trying to... Okay. I was trying to see if that actually was a Fluttermane. But Iron Valiant, it's the only type of its kind that's in that cave. Whereas, if I pick Dragon, which I did, there's Gibbles and Gabites, there's Zvylus in there. Whereas, or if I pick Dark, there's still Zvylus in there. And Sneasels. So either way, you're going to have multiple other Pokemon popping up. Whereas Iron Valiant, that's the only thing that pops up. man, sometimes this controller just pulls. And it pulls, and it just doesn't stop. And I'm pretty much sitting here just fucking spinning myself in circles to make it not fling me off the edge. I'm looking for the purple tail, because I swear I've looked for the red eyes before, and like earlier, I swear I looked one dead in the eyes. I thought they were red. I turned away because I was just kind of looking back and forth, and I looked back and they were yellow. But I swear to freaking Arceus himself, they were red. And I feel like when I'm moving, running around looking, I feel like the purple tail is easier to spot than the eyeballs. Especially because you pretty much have to be in a staring contest with it to see them. I mean, running past it, the red might be more visible than, say, the yellow, but even so, that purple tail's still gonna be... I was gonna say more vibrant, and that's not really the word. It'll be more noticeable. That's just not as, fancy as a word. It's not... I mean... I'm sorry you're having a shit day, but it's not the... Like, it's not a holiday. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna celebrate it with my wife and all that, but... Like, I don't treat her any different on Valentine's Day than I do any other day. And I don't think that anybody should. I mean, like, we still try to spend time together and, just the two of us and blah, blah, blah. But, we try to do that all the time. Valentine's is just not really, it's not like the big holidays for me: Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. That's kind of about it. 4th of July's, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, fireworks, cool. But everything else you do with 4th of July, like, nobody really, you know what I mean. And if you're not, and if you don't live in the States, then it's not a thing anyways. Thanksgiving's on a different day for other countries, and Christmas, or you don't even celebrate Christmas. And like St. Patrick's Day is another holiday coming up, right? Who gives a shit? Like, the only people that give a shit about St. Patrick's Day are the people that just want to fucking drink. I don't have many left. Some of them, like, we just went our separate ways growing up, and some of them didn't grow up, and I went my separate way. I've got a few. I've got a couple that I was supposed to do a whole bunch of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet stuff with, and, well, I don't know if it's real life that happened to them or what, but none of that happened, so I might have a potential Soul Link partner in the works. I'm gonna have to see how that pans out. I mean, I've got at the current moment, my longest running friend that I've known since we were kids, and we play Fall Guys here and there, we play some Star Wars Battlefront, but most of the time we just play Halo together. And even then, because of his job and where he currently lives, it's not too far out of his way to come and, like, hang out in person. But usually if we hang out in person, it'd be like him and his wife, me and my wife, and we'll, like, go somewhere. Or even, like, a couple of their friends will go tag along. Because even, like, he can come hang out here, we'll, sit on the couch and play. Is that one shiny? No, it's not. We'll sit on the couch and play, but split screen, as fun as it is, and you know, there's a whole different kind of feeling of sitting right next to the person you're playing with and feeling the same frustration. It really sucks not having your own screen, your own full screen, rather. Well, I've actually known mine since we were like 10. So, yeah, my wife and my best friend, we all grew up together, and I've known them both almost I was gonna say equidistant. I don't know that's the correct word. Um, I think I've probably known him just very slightly longer, but that's really about it. I used to stay in. I mean, I still stay in contact with another friend that we grew up with, and I've known just as long. But he did a lot of moving with college and with his wife and big job opportunities, so he's way across the country. It's just Halo. I mean, not really. Like I said, I've kept a lot of childhood friends for a while, but it's like once we hit our 30s, like some of them just couldn't grow the fuck up. They were still doing stupid shit. They were still just not being generally good people. And I mean, I wasn't exactly the best person back then, and I'm probably still not now. I can't blame my Tourette's for everything. But, I mean, as far as the things I do, and I mean, my actions are always, if a little, my actions are always more or less justified. Some of my opinions might be a little extreme, but I'm just not as forgiving for certain things. The biggest thing is like I have more of a problem talking to people I don't know now than I did when I was younger and more of a shy person. It's just like, even though I was shy growing up, and I mean, of course, took me a while before I grew to a respectable height. And I didn't give a shit. So, I mean, I had no problem talking to whoever, making friends, doing whatever. But now it's like, I just go out and it's like, if I don't know you, I don't really want to, I don't know. It's weird. Like, meshing friend groups like we did with the Super Bowl party over the weekend was really awkward. There were some people there that it's just like, I didn't really know what to say to you. It's just like, hello, how are you? You know. But then other people, it's like, we just start talking right away. What's going on, church? I ain't seen you. I didn't know what you were up to tonight. You're late in the stream. Holy shit, I didn't realize I've even been streaming for 2 hours. Wow. Time really flies when you're not finding shinies. Well, I mean, we found the shiny Gibble, but... I honestly, I forgot about all my Twitch, my Twitch notifications. Thanks for the follow. Aw, church. You didn't have to go that far. Look at you stealing my spotlight, though. Enjoy your ad-free viewing and your cool little badge you'll get. Hopefully that shit shows up. I got my affiliate back a couple days ago. I was going to make a post about it, and I kind of didn't. I was just going to be like, make a stream for it. And then, as I explained at the beginning of this stream, shit kept getting in the way, and obviously there was no point in streaming last night because of the Super Bowl. And then today, it's like I wanted to stream during the day, but I couldn't. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm fucking streaming, damn it. I want to play something. It's You're all good, it's fine. I was affiliated like a good couple years ago. Before the pandemic, I used to stream literally every night. I'd stream 3 to 4 hours a night. Just playing whatever. I had a whole like schedule. I played the same shit every scheduled night. And I mean, I hate it because back then I hit like a consistent 15 to 20 viewers every night. And then stuff in life happened. The pandemic happened. I had to couldn't afford stuff. Couldn't stream. Just everything kind of went to shit for a good while. And picking up the pieces took a lot longer than I wanted it to. So as far as the hunt goes, we're not doing great. We've not yet found the shiny we're looking for, but I ran into just a random shiny little dragon baby, and I'm like, well, I'll catch you because I don't have one. And, I mean, I'll catch you anyways, because if I don't, I just give it away or whatever. But, so far, no luck on shiny jiggles. But yeah, so I got my affiliate back, and I worked on a good bit of stuff over the past few days. I got the subscriber badges posted. I went and made different badge icons. I made the flares for them. I made like custom little bit. I guess it's also called a badge. I don't really know what they call it. I was working on some emote ideas. I just couldn't figure out what to do for them. Because, I mean, obviously the image is going to be so freaking small on the screen. It's like, how do you make a good, clear emote that's, like, 2 pixels wide? Justin and I were talking... We were talking about merch ideas the other day. He was like, I got a great idea for this. And I was just like, I mean, we can go that route. I want to do a good... See, look, am I wrong? Was that thing's eyes not red? I know I'm not that tired. There has to be something. This game has to be fucking with me. Because I swear to God its eyes were red. Do they have like red eyelids? Do they blink and their eyes turn red? It's not blinking. No. So what is it? Is it me? Am I just imagining the eyes are red just because I want to find the freaking shiny? It's driving me actually crazy. I mean, it doesn't usually happen, but I swear to Christ, that's twice now that I swear I've seen the red eyes and just do the double take and then it's just not there. I think the game's just mad that I haven't got to play it as recently as I wanted to because I was... Well, the last time I was trying to get stuff set up for that stream where we evolved 100 shiny Dunsparce. And trying to get the stuff set up for that, for it to go exactly as I wanted it to, which I didn't get the turnout I wanted, but I had fun with it regardless. That took a lot of time. And then I took a little bit of time off from it just because I was busy doing other things and trying to decide what I want to do with my team. This sandwich is about to run out. It is, exactly. And that's why I evolved 100 Dunsparce to try and get a shiny 3-segment Dunsparce. But I did it partially for, like, it was kind of a, like, in recognition of, or, well, that's not the right way to put it. But anyway, I made a big deal out of it. Did like a little intro montage for it that played, and then we evolved them. I even went and caught 2 more shiny Dunsparce after evolving the 100. Of course, neither one of them ended up 3-segment either. Well, so it's so relevant because we're not gonna get one. This thing's gonna take up the rest of our time. You're like snoring super loud. So that sandwich didn't pan out. Yeah, she's alright. Okay, can you just not? See, like, I've still got a Dunsparce outbreak open over here that I've still got it just in case I want to go get another one. I need to remember where that cave is. Let's hold off on Screamtail. Let's see if I can go get a Tyranitar, or more specifically a Larvitar. The cave is like, where is it? I'm trying to remember. Oh my god, if this thing would stop. I really don't want to because I hate having to do it. I've taken apart so many controllers in my life to fix them, but I'm going to have to. Or you could definitely egg hunt Larvitar. I don't know. I think I didn't realize how far back I was sitting. That's why I am having such a hard time seeing chat. I don't have either. I don't have any of them. So, there's a cave. I'm trying to remember which cave it is. But there's basically one of these caves. Nope, not this one. Where you can go in. You can go in it. And there's like a branched off tunnel. And if you go through the branched off tunnel, it leads to a dead end. But there's a spot in the wall where basically the wall just starts shitting out Pokemon. And in that particular area, most of what it shits out is Larvitar and Sableye. And it just starts shitting them out of the wall. And so, like, you just shiny hunt right there. You just turn on a sandwich and just let it do its work. Try to check the Pokemon around here, because I found several shiny Pokemon in these areas, too. Friggin' Sword and Shield kind of ruined me with all the items on the ground. I just run around and pick everything up. But around here, it's like you pick up so many, like, evolution stones and shit, and it's like it's just money in your pocket. Ah, this is it. This is the one. Watch this. Watch this shit. This is so, like, it's so fucking weird. What the hell? Okay, can you stop? This is all my controller, by the way. None of that's me. I think that's 5 Salandit that are stuck in the ceiling. And then there's this little Larvitar. So, like, is it this one? Like, right there, you literally can see them just shitting out of the wall. It's the weirdest thing. They say you don't need... I don't think you need to do a sandwich for this one. I'm gonna do one anyways. I mean, that's pretty much how I felt. But, I mean, I've been sitting here shiny hunting Screamtail, and I didn't find a shiny fairy at all. And instead found shiny fucking Gibble. Like, what the hell? I want to say I had an encounter rock sandwich, like, not really bookmarked, but, you know, it's got the little heart thing on it. But I don't even honestly remember, because I don't know if I've shiny hunted. Like, that one's for egg power, that one's for fucking hatching shit. That one's encounter power for fighting, like, who gives a shit about that? Ah, this one's Encounter Power Rock. Okay. Now, I have this problem where I keep forgetting to save. And really, it doesn't matter so much, but just because I don't want to... I don't like wasting materials, and I'd rather just, like, turn the game off and reopen it. So that's the thing, too, is you want to do it far away from the tunnel. But you have to do it on this spot, otherwise you're too close to this asshole. That I guess I've still never battled. But it's like, there's not really much point going back. I mean, I could battle the people I haven't battled, and it's like, sure, give me money, but... That was, what, 40-something? 50-something? No, surely not. Wait, where was that? Oh, it's 74. I was thinking 47. I'm not dyslexic, but apparently my memory was. So what shinies did you find? Oh my god, the candlelight in this cave is just obscuring everything. This is awful. Of course, so is my controller trying to dump everything off the fucking plate. I guess it says bacon. That's not bacon. That is literally like a brick. I can't even differentiate the cheese from the fucking lettuce here. That's like the thickest strip of bacon. That's like a steak. Like, what in the hell is this sandwich? Like, these sandwiches are always, like, fucking weird anyways, but... Okay, don't do that. That almost tipped right the fuck over. I don't honestly know what's weirder. The fact that, like, a kid just, you know, goes in there goes in, like, a cave. The deepest part of a cave with this Pokemon just sets up a fucking table, a candle, and just, like, let's make some sandwiches. Or the fact that there's a dude standing behind us, watching us make this sandwich, and then just eat in front of him. I don't know. So now we can just stand here. We're a little in front of the area we're supposed to be, but look, it just starts shitting out Larvitars. Shiny Iron Hands is good. Noivern, I caught either 4 or 6 shiny Noibats in like one outbreak one day. Male Combi, that hurts so fucking bad. That's really rough. But so you just sit here and just like watch the whole... Oh, there's... See, a Sableye snuck through. Like, you just watch the wall just shit out Larvitars, and then after, like, it stops, you set up a sandwich, you set up a picnic, take the picnic down, and wait for it to shit out more. Whoops. Wrong button. The only thing you have to be careful of is, like, not to set up a picnic as a shiny one's pooping out the wall. Otherwise, you're just, then you're fucked. Yeah, like, I don't even know what he's doing here. I mean, he looks like a construction worker or whatever, so he could have been, you know, digging this tunnel, whatever. But you've got so many Pokemon that dig tunnels for fun. So, I don't know. Yeah. It's a Pokemon game, so I guess it's supposed to be like you're supposed to find this cave. I think there's an item or two in here, maybe. And then also, like, hey, here's a trainer to battle. Okay, whatever. These Larvitar are just creeping up on me. Yeah, it's about like when Gen 7 dropped and people were shiny hunting for Salazzle and kept getting a male Salandit, and you're just like, fuck. Alright, I think it's done. Yeah, it's really a pain in the ass that some shinies like are like gender specific like that. And there's just nothing you can do about it. It's so funny. They just drop out of this little hole. It's like the freaking like the anus doors in Halo 3. They would just like open up, and in this case, they're just shitting out little turds. It is dark in this cave, and the further away they are, the worse they look. But I'm pretty sure I'd notice if one of them was shiny. I'd be upset if I didn't. I don't ever want to be one of those people that, in the middle of a stream, somebody in the chat's like, "You went past a shiny, you missed a shiny." Because first of all, normally the way people have their stream set up is by the time they got around to seeing the comment, because obviously you guys are seeing stuff a little behind what's actually happening or what's actually being said, by the time that you put it in chat, we're probably already gone, and it's probably too late, especially for me, because once I hit the picnic button, and then it's gone regardless. And I mean, I have, we did just have like shiny, we had like Larvitar Community Day in Pokemon Go or whatever, not too long ago. I think I caught one, but I was sitting at home the whole time, and I already had a shiny Tyranitar anyways. But I'd rather just actually catch one. Plus, I'd have to set up Pokemon Home, and that's a whole thing by itself. I will at some point, because there are some Pokemon that I want to get off older games, but I know I'm running out of time on that window. Look at that one Tyranitar, or that one Larvitar in the middle. He's fucking huge. Yeah, basically. This is a much this is a more boring, and like there's zero interaction with hunting this way, which in a way it reminds me of hunting in Let's Go. Granted, you could still run around in Let's Go too, but in Let's Go, because you had the little incense that you would activate, and they only lasted for 100 steps, you'd instead just sit in one spot, and it would never run out. And the Pokemon would fuck off on their. It's not like this game, where they'll stand there forever if they don't walk away or you don't walk away. But in Let's Go, they'll eventually disappear on their own. They'll despawn, and then new ones can spawn in. But because you don't want that incense to run out, you could just stand there, stand in an area where they're gonna spawn, stand in a spot where you can see most, if not all, of the area, and then you just stand there and watch. The only reason this is any more interactive than that is because I have to keep setting up the picnic to despawn everything. Otherwise, it's the same freaking thing. And that's why, I did shiny hunting streams for that, too. And when they were successful streams, it was fine, but it was more just sitting and talking to the viewers. Sword and Shield was a little bit different because they had those max raids, and that was like battling yourself through a maze and then getting to the end and hoping that the legendary was shiny, and of course it never was. But they were fun nonetheless. At least when you're shiny hunting, like when I was shiny hunting Screamtail, you know, I'm running around to keep making them spawn, to keep, you know, getting new ones to that could potentially roll shiny. This particular place to do it, they spawn in such a small area. Of course, I've seen and been told that this is guaranteed you'll find a shiny without any sandwich or whatever, blah blah blah. But I tried it before when I first found out about it, and it didn't work. Or I won't say it didn't work. I just didn't find a shiny. But seeing as how they haven't patched out the hole that's just shitting out Pokemon, I'll keep trying it. I might even try it for steel types at some point and see if maybe we get like a shiny Orthworm. I mean, because he's like an orangish red color normally, but his shiny's like a really like bright sky blue. Really fucking good shiny. This little Larvitar here is getting curious. I mean, it's a hole. I don't know how holy it is. I mean, shitting out little Larvitars, they're cute and all, but when it starts shitting out the fucking demonic looking flea, it's a little more unholy. Oh, it sucks, Church, that you missed it, but the other day, Justin and I went back to doing lasso. It's caked up with little Larviturds. That joke may not have been in the best taste, but yeah, we finally got him to. That sucks. Yeah. Well, we streamed later than we planned to. His work stuff did not go at all the way he had predicted it to go, so we ended up streaming a lot later. But again, because of the time difference, like it's definitely hard to be able to stream at a perfect time for you guys down in the land down under. I mean, we started at... When did we start? I want to say we started at like 6 p.m. So that would have been like either 10 a.m. for you or noon. I feel you, man. Sleep's definitely needed. Thanks, appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out, and enjoy your night. I probably need to get off and sleep too, but I'm stubborn. I'm just gonna call you Koki from now on. Kokichi? Kokichi Oma 47. See, I'm butchering it. It's like I'm trying to read freaking gamer tags all over again. See, I don't know what it is about when I try to do things. You only have 2 days. That's unfortunate. So what 2 days do you go to class then? If you don't mind my asking. I can't say we wouldn't stream on that day because it's really just whatever's convenient. I mean, the weekends is definitely more of an option now because Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, yeah. So the weekend's more of an option now because it was less of an option for him before because he. Oh, they're still shitting. Okay. He'd go over to his other friend's house. The same friend that we just had the Super Bowl party at, but I mean, we went because it was the Super Bowl and food and friends, whatever. But I mean, he goes over there every weekend to watch football, and that's not a thing now. So he's like, "Well, I don't have football anymore, so I guess I have more time for Halo." I'm like, I mean, that's fine with me, whatever. I mean, you could catch the VODs on Twitch, or you can go watch the edited versions up on the YouTube channel. I've got the first part broken down and edited, but it took us almost, I want to say it took us almost 4 hours. And I was really kind of like frustrated by it because he was so disheartened from our previous attempts to do the library that was why we quit. That's why we took a break from it, because he got so burnt out on trying it. And I'd ran through a little bit of it before on my own, and I wasn't able to convince him. And then this guy that's always watching our Halo stuff and always commenting on all the Halo stuff, he basically called Justin out on it. Basically called him out for being a bitch because he wouldn't go back and finish Lasso. And I talked him into it, and I went ahead and went back into the library by myself, solo. And, of course, that's what that means, by myself. I don't know why I said it that way. But I went through it, start to finish, to beat the actual level and figure out the best ways to handle each area, whatever. And it took me just like 2 hours. It took me just 2 hours. I only died like 59 times, which is still a lot. But it took us like a little, like slightly more than 3.5 hours. And there was a lot more than 59 deaths. So, I started watching it. I mean, I mean, I'm going to say it's funny, but that's because I was part of it, and just dealing with the shit with him, it's always funny. But like the first part is just the same small area for the most part. And that's kind of how it'll be with every segment that I get edited and uploaded, is it's just going to be the same fucking areas where just dying and dying over and over again, trial and error, which is what Lasso is, but in a way that, like, granted, the library, the level, scenery never changes, but the scenery doesn't change, and we're in the same spot for quite a while. Some of the areas, it only took us a few tries, or several tries, but we weren't too terribly stuck in one area for too long. with the exception of one spot near the end. And that was just because neither of us had shields, neither of us had health, and Flood with shotguns were just, they had auto aim. They had aimbot. They would just drop down from the ceiling and just one-shot us. And it's awful, because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there is, and we tried different things, and eventually we got through it. But now, like, he feels rejuvenated. He's more excited to do lasso again. So we get to do the 2 betrayals, which is a great fun level. Keys is could do without keys. But the Maw is one of my favorites personally. Like, I really can't wait to do that Warthog run. Um, you can do that, but you can only do that on so high of a difficulty. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to do that on Legendary, and you definitely are not doing that like on Lasso. That's not possible. Which I know like Master Chief Collection has some achievements that are like beat a level without jumping, beat a level without shooting your gun or meleeing or doing damage, or but that also doesn't specify you have to do it on a certain difficulty, or so yeah, a bit easier. I actually don't know which achievements I still don't have. I think I have almost every achievement for each of the titles on MCC, with the exception of the lasso ones and such. And we just won't have the lasso ones for Halo 1 just because of the way we did it before. We didn't do it on the actual lasso playlist. So, and we didn't feel like going back. We didn't care enough. Damn it, my dude moved. And we're just too close. I mean, I have all the achievements for. I think I have all the achievements. I'm only missing like 2 or 3 achievements for the original ODST, and I think I have all the achievements for Combat Evolved Anniversary. The one I know for sure I have all the achievements for is Halo 3, and that's because the last day of the servers, the last day that the servers were about to be shut down, I hopped on, ended up playing, getting in a match with a group of people that were just awesome. And they were more, it was Halo 3 days all over again, just fucking around, doing fun shit. And I mentioned that I only had those 4 achievements left, and I was like, well, I'm never going to get them because of this and this. And then sure enough, we were able to actually get the game types that I needed, because it was one of the achievements. It wasn't one of the originals. I had all the original achievements. It was a couple of the ones they added later on with one of the map packs. And sure enough, they helped me get them. And I mean, haven't talked to any of them since. I've got a few of them friended on Xbox Live, but super fucking grateful because Halo 3 was just my OG. God, Halo 5. Halo 5 I've not touched since we did Lasso. I've not touched it since, and Halo 5 was our first Lasso. And I don't think I'll ever touch it again. Fiesta was fun. Infection was fun. SWAT was, wasn't a fan of the battle rifle. But Yeah, otherwise, yeah, I don't care about 5. I can't. We were actually discussing. We were actually trying to figure this out uh, before we finally decided to continue our combat evolved lasso. But we were trying to decide what to do, like which lasso we wanted to do next. And we were kind of torn between either Halo 3 or Halo Reach, because they're just both really fun campaigns. And also, like, if you play Halo Reach, everybody's got their customized Spartan. If you play Halo 3, you've got Master Chief for player 1, Arbiter for player 2. If you get a player 3, you got the Blue Elite. If you get a player 4, you got the Red Elite. But we kind of wanted to do... We want to do some lasso runs that are 4-player. So we want to be able to have all 4 of those different character customizations. And of course, you can do 4-player with Halo 4, Halo 5, even ODST. But Halo 3 and Halo Reach specifically have different characters. ODST, you all play as... Actually, I think in ODST, you have player 1 plays as whatever character the level is. And then players 2, 3, and 4 are just the rookie. And then, of course, player 4, or Halo 4 and Halo 4, everybody's just Master Chief. Halo 5, everybody is whatever character they're playing as. Which I think we usually played as Fred and Chief. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Reach is has such a replayable campaign. Granted, they all have levels I don't enjoy. Like, Halo 1 has let's see, which levels are in Halo 1. Don't I like the second level that's just called Halo. The only part of it I don't like is because I play on Legendary. That first part where you gotta hold out with the Marines, that part just sucks. It sucks on Legendary. I hate defend this position objectives. Cartographer. The library I don't like, but I don't hate it like everybody else does. But I wouldn't go, oh yeah, I love that level. And I don't like keys. But keys I have issues with the lighting, especially in OG Halo. So much of it's just super dark, you just can't see shit. Plus, infinitely spawning enemies just is annoying. Halo 2. Some of the Arbiter levels I didn't care for. But again, that was just because of the added difficulty. But Halo 2 is a whole other beast with difficulty. I didn't really care for I don't remember which brute level it is. I want to say it's Uprising, the first Arbor level where you're fighting against the brutes. That one was just a pain in the ass because brutes in Halo 2 were just tanks. I don't like the fight with Regret, just because that was really annoying to just sit there and punch him and get shot the shit out of. Halo 3, CR117's again, the Cortana level, the Flood level really wasn't great. I think that's really about it, though, with Halo 3. Halo Reach. Halo Reach's campaign, again, the first level, I think, was just Like, it wasn't... I mean, it was memorable, because Reach is just a really memorable game. And especially at that particular time in my life, and, getting the game and playing it start to finish. I pretty much have that as a what do you call it? A tradition. Because I was such a huge fan of Halo 1, and I played it until I could beat it on Legendary, and then I forced my friends one by one to co-op it Legendary until they got good enough. And then every Halo after that, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, Reach, 4, 5, Infinite, beating on Legendary. On the first playthrough, going in blind, going in on Legendary. Halo 2, I didn't get to play it start to finish in one go. But Halo 3, Reach, ODST, 4, 5, all of them. Start to finish. Infinite, I did not, but that's because Infinite's campaign was, in a way, a lot longer, even though not really. But because it was open world and everything, it was a lot longer. The Halo Reach, let's see. The first level is not one I really enjoy. Second level is great. The sniper level is great. The spire is great. The Long Night of Solace, I like the level. I just don't care for the flying. I don't care for the saber part. It just, especially on Legendary, especially on Lasso. Because Halo Reach, I actually beat, is the first game I played on Lasso. The first game I beat Lasso solo. And that was with the original Reach back in 2010. Or in 2011. I'm not sure how long it was after I beat it. But it was all the way back then. And I still have the films from theater saved on my original 360 hard drive. I just have no way to get those films off that 360 because the disc drive is like jammed. And I mean I tried my damnedest to get that thing. I tried like forcibly ripping it out and I could not get it open. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Long Night of Solace, at least the flying part anyways. The brute level after that is not one of my favorites. New Alexandria, the level after that where you fly around in the Falcon everywhere, was interesting. It was a different take, but I felt like I had more control in a Falcon than I did in a Saber. And then, of course, the package is a great level. Pillar Bottom is a great level. But yeah, Reach had a really good, really solid campaign. That's one we want the full Lasso campaign experience for Halo 3 and Halo Reach, because those are arguably probably the two most iconic Halo campaigns. So we really want those to be as up to their full potential. Problem is, we're just struggling to find two other players that we have that can, play it at the same time. Like, I have a friend that I've asked, and he's willing to give it a try. We've just got to figure out when to, play and schedule it, whatever. And then Justin's brother is like, he can, kinda, but we'd have to find time for him to play. He's also got another friend that we've played with before, or not exactly played with before, but he's basically jumped in a party with us while we've been playing Halo, and he played Destiny. And he's down for it, because he likes the older Halo games. Problem is, he works third shift, so it's like finding a good schedule to outfit that really just it's not working out right this moment. I see. It's like the beach part at the beginning didn't bother me. I liked storming the beach and blasting your way through to get to the base. That part was cool. And being on the Covenant ship, just the atmosphere of Covenant ships is just really cool. Whether it was being on the Truth and Reconciliation in Halo 1, being on High Charity in Halo 2. We didn't really have that in Halo 3. Did we? I don't think so. But then, yeah, being on the ship in Halo Reach, it was like, it had that Truth and Reconciliation feel to it. So that part was great. Again, the ending part on Legendary is difficult. On Lasso is just mind-numbing. But of course, back then, I didn't know about the turret trick. I didn't know you could just jump in the freaking Pelican turret and be immortal. That might have been. There are several things that might have made my life easier. Like, there are also parts of different maps in different Halo games where you can kind of skip areas, get out of the map, and blah blah. Had I known about any of those, my Halo Reach lasso could have been easier. But I did not, so I did the full lasso challenge. Which, that's the thing too, is like, there's, especially in Halo 1, there's ways you can kind of glitch the game to where things won't spawn, or you can get out of an area to get to another area. Like, for example, Assault on the Control Room. This is a trick that my buddy Steven and I learned about way back when Halo 1 was the only Halo game. There wasn't even a Halo 2 announced back then. And I don't even remember how we learned about this trick. But, we'd play Halo constantly at his house. And he would, we'd go over and play co-op, we'd play multiplayer, we'd set up multiple Xboxes, and just, his house was the friend hangout house. But so, there's a trick on Assault on the Control Room right at the beginning with the bridge with one of the shade turrets. Hang on. Oh, way too much talking, dry mouth. So, basically what you had to do is you had to get down to the bottom where Johnson and the rest of the Marines are kind of getting out of that Pelican and such. But you have to get down there over the side of the bridge. And the way you would do this without dying was with the shade turrets. You basically have to blow it off the bridge with a grenade, but you'd also have to jump into the bridge. Or jump into the bridge. Nope. Jump into the shade turret. And the grenade would go off and flip it over the side of the bridge, and sometimes you would land in the turret all the way down, sometimes it would flip out, and there'd be different spots up on the cliff wall that you could climb down. And if you got to the bottom, nothing else spawned for the entire rest of the level. You would just walk from there. You still have to traverse the entire level, but you get in a warthog, whatever, and just walk. You'd walk through the shits, take the warthog, go through all the tunnels, get to the end, and just press the damn button. And, you know, when Justin and I were doing Lasso, I knew about this trick. Would it have made Lasso easier? Abso-fucking-lutely. But we specifically came to an agreement on it that we just throw this off. It's gonna make our shit fall off. You don't actually need the top bun to get the sandwich bonuses. As weird as that is. But we didn't want to do that. We don't want to do, you know, tricks and glitches to make it easier. We want, the whole point to a lasso challenge is the lasso challenge. So if you despawn all the enemies, like I know people do that for, you know, getting the achievement and whatever. And that's one thing. You're getting it for the achievement. You're just doing the achievements. But we wanted to beat Lasso legitimately. And which is what I did with Reach. There are so many, like, skips and stuff that you can do in Halo Reach that I did not know about until recently. And that's only because I was watching a video about it. That would have made my life so much easier. But, I mean, again, I didn't know about them. But I feel confident because I feel better because I did it the right way. You know, as if there's a wrong way to play a game. Well, in a sense, there is. But one of my most memorable things about that Lasso run was the, it's at the end of that first brute level. Like, the level right after Long Night of Solace. Why can't I remember the fucking name of it? Like, you start out on the Boardwalk multiplayer map. Anyway. So, you're at the end where you've got the two wraiths shooting at you. There's chieftains. You gotta activate these 2 batteries. And then, you know, go inside and push the button. And there's a chieftain running at me. And I'm, like, running down this bridge, backing up from him. And I still have the jetpack. So I jetpacked off the bridge. Come on. I jetpacked off the bridge. And as I'm flying backward and up through the air, this guy, MLB Pro, just hurls a plasma grenade right at me. And I don't even know I could ever do it again. But I sniped that plasma grenade out of mid-air and blew it up, like, I don't know, 10 feet from me. And I mean, on Lasso with no reticle, and I don't even think, I hadn't even thought back then of, like, just putting, like, tape or marking something on my TV so that I knew where my shots were going to land. That wasn't even something that occurred to me. It was not even an idea that I had thought of. That was just me with skills from a different day. Like, I know you watch me and Justin play, and you see how good we are now. And I can't say the same for him, but Halo 3 days me, 2007, 2008, would probably kick the shit out of me. I was so much better back then. But I mean, I constantly played and getting better. And then with Halo 3 and Xbox Live, I played all the time. unfortunately, stuff happened with life that near. See, Halo 3 came out in 07. It was near the end of 08. Stop fucking... Stop! Sit your fucking ass still. Yeah, it was near the end of 08, beginning of 09 that I unfortunately had to take a hiatus from getting to play online, and kind of had to... Oh my god, fuck off. I basically had to pick my life back up. Had to get everything straightened out, and then, I mean, I was fresh out of high school and shit at that time anyways. Because I was a senior when Halo 3 came out. And, so yeah, got everything picked back up, and it was good for about the rest of the Halo 3, because Halo Reach came out, or Halo ODST came out at that time. And then, god damn, oh my fuck. Reach came out in 2010, and 2010, life got difficult, and the ability to play online was not really a thing. Not at home. I had a friend I had gotten into Halo, and there's a shiny Larvitar. Halo Reach was his first... Fuck up. Leave me alone, you ugly ass flea. Yeah, there we go. God, it's so much more green. I was actually worried that I would miss how shiny, like the shiny coloration. I guess it's when the nighttime cycles outside, it makes it darker in the cave. And so it made all the other Larvitar darker, and I was kind of worried that we were going to miss it. So, shiny Tyranitar is literally a tan color. And I just don't feel like there's a good Pokeball for it. I have a Premier Ball or Luxury Ball. And we got the crit. So, a Luxury Ball it is. Sweet. So, anyway. So, I could only play online when I went over to his house. And so, as far as, like, Halo Reach goes, Halo Reach was... I just did not get to play Halo Reach online as much. What the hell? Fuck off, Donald Trump. I feel like I'll see if... Get away from me. Alright, we're not doing that again. So, Halo Reach was definitely the one I did not get to play as much of online. And as much as it really sucks, there was nothing that could be done about it. When Halo 4 came out, I was at a point where I had... We'd moved around a lot, whatever, and I had been able to kind of pick up the pieces again, make life a little bit better for my family, and I think at that time I was able to afford having internet service, having good enough internet service to play an FPS. And so I had it for Halo 4. And I played the shit out of Halo 4 online. I kind of had to step away from it a little bit with once they started releasing some of the DLC maps and whatever, but the biggest issue with Halo 4 for me was getting stuck in what I used to call purgatory. And I don't know if it was the servers, because, Halo 4 was 343's first Halo game. First game that wasn't a Bungie title, but online was horrid at the start of Halo 4's life. And I mean, like, absolute dog shit. I forgot, I have to be standing on this freaking spot. There they go. So, basically what would happen is I guess it was like just the servers being shit, would fuck with the game so much that it was like everybody was playing on a red connection, but you would just be getting thrown in games that just like so many people would either just drop out of for no reason or that they just quit. But you'd be put in games that, like, just right at the beginning was, like, 3v2 or something. And then it was just glitchy as hell, lag, just fucking awful. And I believe that I still have some of those theater films saved as well. But I don't know. Because, back then you could have a whole bunch of theater films for different, some for campaign, you had some for multiplayer, you had some that were clips, you had some that whatever. Now MCC is like, cool, you can have 10 games total in your theater mode, and that's it. MCC is also like, oh, except Halo 2, original 2, oh, Halo 1, no, not that either. Not even Anniversary. Anniversary annoys me because since technically Anniversary plays off the Halo Reach engine, you would think that theater mode would work for it, but it just doesn't. Like, it's absolutely frustrating. I'm gonna go ahead and set this, and then I'll be right back. Alright. Let's see. Damn it, wrong button every time. But, so yeah, that's kind of a bit of a Halo history lesson. Not the appropriate kind of stream for that, but I don't know when we're supposed to play next. So there's an event going on in Halo Infinite right now for some more Reach stuff, and I got my shoulder pads, so that's mainly what I've been waiting for. Because I loved the Recon shoulders in Halo Reach, and I was really annoyed we didn't have them, even though we had the chest piece and the helmet or whatever. But I played 2 games today. 2 games. That's it. And oh well, no. I guess technically I played 3. I played 1 SWAT game, and was it 2 Fiesta games? Let me check, because I actually sent pictures of the Carnage report to Justin. Yeah, I played 1 SWAT game for challenges, and I played 2 Fiesta games. And the first Fiesta game, I went 15-1. I died 1 time. I was 1 away from a perfection. And with 63.49% accuracy. And then the second game, I went 13-1, and I was literally like just sitting here going, "Goddamn, man! Like if I could have just like I feel like I waste the potential. I mean, I've still got the videos saved, so I can upload them, but there's no audio commentary or anything. But it's like if I could do that well when we play this game for Battle Buddies, it'd be something different." And that first game too was on, what was it? Because I played SWAT, and I got the map Catalyst, and then I swapped over to Fiesta, and I got the map Catalyst, and I mean, my aim was fucking on point between, like, just headshot after headshot with the sniper, with the mangler. I didn't really miss that many shots, so I'm not sure why my accuracy was that low. I'm trying to think of what other weapon I could have had that. I know I shot the shotgun, but the shotgun could have affected it because I know shotgun has a spray, so I don't know if each part of the shotgun's burst has its own accuracy. Like if it counts as separate shots. Kind of like how the repulsor, when you use the repulsor, if you didn't know this. So the repulsor technically counts as 23 different shots. I think it's 23. So if you use the repulsor and say hit nothing, that literally counts as you shooting 23 times and missing 23 times. So being bad with using the repulsor will literally kill your accuracy. I wasn't necessarily trying to flex. It's more I mean I did good. I'm more just sad that those were matches that weren't on a stream, or that didn't have my commentary, or that wasn't, playing with Justin and just having just ridiculous matches. I mean, I love the Mangler. I'm not usually as, I don't know what it is. Halo Infinite, and I know a lot of people had issues when the game first came out too. Halo Infinite Sniper just doesn't handle right, so I don't usually use it as much. I use the skewer more often than not. But I just couldn't. Oh, I think I used the skewer too in that. But I mean, my sniper aim was on point today. So, pistol and sniper rifle Call me Lock on Stratus because I'm targeted and firing. It's a Gundam joke that you and probably nobody else may actually get. Pretty much, he's one of my favorite characters from the Gundam franchise, but it's literally because his Gundam uses a sniper rifle, which pretty much no other Gundam in any series has done, and dual pistols, which again, pretty much no Gundam in any other series has done. So, plus the pilot's just a super like dope down to earth guy. I think the next time we stream, though, we're going to be doing some more. I think we're going to be doing SWAT. Just because I don't know. I mean, if he wants to do Lasso, I'm definitely game for it. But I feel like he's going to want to jump back into some SWAT versus trying to do another Lasso session. Like, believe it or not, Lasso is actually less frustrating than playing multiplayer, than playing matchmaking. Because the thing is, like, they both are equally frustrating. They both rely on skill as well as a little bit of luck. But aside from just enjoying playing the game, you're playing against other people, and I don't know why that makes such a difference versus playing Lasso or like playing the campaign, but it just does. And I guess it's the like being a competitive player, having a competitive nature. So like we're really competitive, like trying to outpace each other, but also we want to fucking win. And so we're, much more competitive in a matchmaking environment compared to, playing co-op, and we're playing on the hardest difficulty, and we've got all these, skulls to make things worse. Whereas, in a way, we have skulls in Halo, getting shit teammates and whatever, but it's so different. Like the frustration in Lasso is fun. It's fun frustration in a way. Like we weren't I don't think there was any point where we were mad. There wasn't any point where we were yelling out of anger. It was just laughing, just even at the bullshit, even at the frustrating parts. And Lasso has so much more. There's so many more betrayals by a large margin. But it's just a different kind of frustration that, and because you're playing it with a friend, it's you don't get pissed off about it. Like I got a little mad during my solo run to figure out the best ways to get through it. But once we were playing it cooperatively, it just there was no rage. I don't know how many times I killed Jason. Justin, on the other hand, I don't know. I didn't keep up with the betrayals, especially because some of the times I didn't know they were betrayals. Going back and doing editing, I was able to see I was able to see that more of them were betrayals. So I'm gonna take a death count on at the end of the level. And this was something I kept meaning to do at the end of every level, and I never did. I don't think I did. I'd have to go back and check. And, so I don't know. I know in Halo 5's Lasso, I pretty much, like, had a death counter that I'd put at the top of our screens. So if you ever go back and watch the Halo 5 Lasso, which I actually went back and I started watching it a little while back ago, just to relive the memories, and I'll probably try and do it again, just because there are certain parts that were just stupid fucking hilarious. But yeah, if you go back and watch that, I have a number in the top corner of screens, for whoever died, and that way you could see how many times each of us had died throughout the entire playthrough. The only downside to that was, oh, well, see, then you already know. Yeah, I was gonna say the downside to that was before Justin started streaming his footage. So, like, I didn't... So, here's a little more Halo history, or a little more Master MariK history for you. I never used to stream Halo unless I was streaming, like, for one of my nightly streams. When I was doing Rage Quit, and even after, when Justin joined in, I was recording it. So none of it was live. So I'd record it, and then when he eventually, joined in, and it went from just me just playing until I was just too pissed off to play anymore, it became Battle Buddies. And with Battle Buddies, he just, he would just play. He would just set it to where his voice would come through on my stream. And, that was that. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but so Battle Buddies was that way for a while. All of Halo 5 Lasso was that way. And then at some point, he had mentioned, getting to see something from his perspective, or getting to see what happened to him, or whatever. And I was basically like, well, you can stream your footage just for the sake of giving, because he doesn't do this stuff. He doesn't have a capture card, blah, blah, blah. But streaming it to Twitch gave it a place where there was a file. A place where there was... Hey, what the... Stop. A place where there's a video that I could download and have access to. And I could just, play his and record it and whatever. That's a hassle, though. So what we do is he streams it. I go from his channel and just download it straight to my PC, download the file, and then I take this stuff, I edit it up, I watch it through, I'll swap perspectives in the meantime when stuff's happening, or someone's getting a kill, someone's dying, whatever. And of course I've got, the name overlays, the HUD overlays to make it a little more pretty and unique, which I came up with that idea forever ago. And the point was to make our content stand out. It probably would make our content stand out if our channel stood out in the first place. But the algorithm is the algorithm. And it doesn't work that way. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, I considered not bothering with the overlays, but doing the going back and forth between perspectives, it really wouldn't cut much out for me to not do it, so it's not really taking a whole lot of work out of it. See, and right around the time we started doing that, we started using his footage, like from him streaming. We started Combat Evolved Lasso. And actually, that may have been what started the whole split perspectives thing, because when we were doing the Combat Evolved Lasso, the first level when we did Pillar of Autumn, it's just my perspective, if I'm remembering correctly, which I'd have to go back and look because we started that at the end of 2019, I think. So then when we, pandemic stuff and all that shit happened, everything blew over and the world kind of attempted to get back to normal. We started up Lasso again. And by that point, we had started using his perspective for stuff. So then, from the second level onward, Lasso has both perspectives. So you can see both things happening instead of just hearing it on his end, but not being able to see it because of my end. And our Halo 5 Lasso would have been so much better if we had his perspective, just from so many of the things that happened. But you live and learn. And there's no way to go back and redo it. It wouldn't be the same. And we're not doing Halo 5 Lasso ever again. Okay, well, I mean, appreciate the honesty, I suppose. I don't. I'd be curious to know what you didn't like at the time, or what changed and you did like it, or what. I mean, did you start out watching something else on our channel? I mean, I'm glad you stuck around, but now I'm just. That's gonna keep me up. I'd say keep me up all night, but it's already just about 4 o'clock. Used to hate battle buddies. Well. And it didn't officially become. When it officially became battle buddies is when I started being more of myself online and not hiding behind the MariK persona. And that's more or less just because I hate the sound of my own voice. And initially it started as like a parody channel anyways, because MariK's been my nickname for most of my life, and playing the character was just fun. Be good insight to know what we did differently that suddenly made you a fan. Especially because we used to stream so much. I mean, we as in, like, me. Justin didn't partake, but I mean, I used to stream. I'm trying to think of what my old schedule was. I did. I had a night where I played Halo. I had a night where I played Mario Kart. I had a night where I played Devil May Cry. Several things. Oh, you damn Google Plus. That's old, yeah. So, Rage Quit was a thing because, with as competitive as I am, and playing like I get so much more frustrated playing solo because I feel like I have nobody that's worth a damn for a teammate most of the time. So the idea was just play until I rage quit the game. I kind of tried to branch off into something else with another friend of mine that used to play at the time. That didn't really pan out. Mario Kart, I don't remember why I dropped Mario Kart content. I know. I think it was because. So I enjoyed watching Mario Kart content from the streamers I watched, and I enjoyed playing it. And so that's why I was doing Mario Kart. But then, like back then, Nintendo had such a stranglehold on their specific IPs, which were Mario, Zelda, stuff that was main Nintendo. Pokemon didn't fall under that because Pokemon was technically GameFreak. It was like a separate branch, more or less. So it wasn't under their jurisdiction. That sandwich is done. Okay. But so, you couldn't monetize anything. As soon as you uploaded it, it was immediately copyrighted. So you wouldn't get paid for any of it. I used to get paid more for YouTube back then too, because the whole pandemic thing and taking a hiatus from content really just fucked everything. But we're working our way back towards it. But so, yeah, so I think that's why I quit doing Mario Kart back then. Also, everybody transitioning from Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and so people weren't playing Mario Kart 8 anymore. That's the one I had for my Wii U. I didn't get a Switch when the Switch came out, yada yada yada. So, I really only got a Switch initially to play Smash Bros. Ultimate with my friends, which I haven't played it in a long time, and I haven't played it with any of them in a long time, or talked to those people that I was friends with to play it in a long time. So, and then of course, Fall Guys came out, and I mean, initially you can play it on anything, but I played it on Switch a little bit, and then Pokemon moved to the Switch with games, and I have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I thought about doing it for content, but I didn't think it'd be worthwhile. I'm pretty sure now Nintendo has released their grip on their IPs, so I could probably do Mario Kart since I have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't have the new maps. I don't have any of the new maps, but I could do Mario Kart 8. I could do content for it, or I could stream it. I have the new Mario Party as well. And I actually have a couple games I've played that I've recorded. There's just no audio. There's no commentary. There's the game audio, of course. And I'm working on trying to get those uploaded, but they're 2-hour videos a piece, and that's a long upload time, so. But, so yeah, I mean, if I can try doing Mario Kart content again, and I think back then I was doing Mario Kart Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In a way, like, my job at the time made it easier to have a recording schedule and to have a stream schedule. I don't really have the job restriction now, but I have the free time restriction now in a way. So, I don't know, maybe I'll try Mario Kart again. We'll see. We'll see how it does, and if it gets traction, maybe we'll keep playing it. I want to do more Mario Party, but I'm not doing Mario Party online with like random fuckheads. It's a party game. You want to play it with your friends. But on that note, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it. We're hitting like 4 hours now. I've got to get my wife up in a couple hours for work, and I probably need rest. It's been an interesting week. So, well, I mean, it's not feeling forced to do something that I don't want to do. It's just I quit doing something because Nintendo was basically like, go fuck yourself. So, I might try it again. I've been wanting to play Mario Kart again. I just haven't really found the time to do it, but I might. I might try and get some done. I might. I don't know. I don't know, because I could record it or I could stream it. Or I could stream it and then break down the streams into videos. So that's, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'm going to get off here, get some sleep. My indigestion has not left me, so I probably won't sleep that well anyways, but eventually I will just be too tired to notice. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. You enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for the sub, being the first sub. And just thanks for just being a good supporter. And the insight, I guess, into our content getting better. We'll have some more Mario stuff for you. It's definitely a franchise that I enjoy, so I'll move some stuff around. I got a lot of videos to work on this week anyway, so I'll find some time. But you have a good night. We'll catch you probably tomorrow. Or, well, we'll catch you whenever you hop on. I'll probably be on tomorrow. Well, there it was. I'll get some some kick-ass emotes going too. The biggest one I'm trying to work on the design for is a betrayal emote. I know everybody will enjoy that. So, but you have a good night, and we'll catch you tomorrow. And if not, we'll catch you the next time. Adios.